also illegal in China. So that has both Bitcoin and Ethereum sharply lower this morning. We'll talk about that coming up here. We're also awaiting any kind of confirmation from Evergrande as to whether or not they actually paid that giant interest payment that was due yesterday. Still no confirmation either direction as far as that is concerned. So it's a wait and see type of morning so far. Markets overall coming off a 2-day relief rally following the Fed decision earlier in the week. The Dow, nice day yesterday, up more than 500 points. The S&P 1.2%. The NASDAQ rose about 1%. But again, we're back in negative territory this morning. Nike shares under pressure after their earnings report. We'll go through the entire thing and discuss it. As far as Chinese stocks, we're going to have a look at Baidu specifically. Their deal to acquire that YY company, YY the ticker, unlikely to be approved according to Chinese regulators, and Costco as well, also reporting. It's Friday, September 24th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go, back in the red, big time at the bottom of the board there. You can see crypto's under pressure following that news out of China overnight. We'll discuss that further. Coming up here, stocks though, yeah, under pressure as well. Nice 2-day bounce back after we started the week, much lower, 0.5% for the S&P, the Dow, and NASDAQ, about 0.7 at this point. So not a good way, or not a good start anyways, to kick off Friday and kick off the end of the week here, guys. More Chinese negativity, I guess, is the best way to put it this morning. Again, not congratulations today. No, China, again, if you missed it, coming out overnight saying, and I quote, all cryptocurrency-related activities are illegal in China. They also said overseas-based crypto exchanges providing services to mainland China are also now illegal. What do we do with that?
I'm thinking about cryptocurrencies right now, so good luck making that illegal. We actually talked about this a couple of days ago, but getting a negative graphic for I guess, cryptocurrencies. I don't know what it would be, maybe them blowing up, but we're above 40,000, 41. So it's actually, for now, I should say.
It was more Bitcoin. Yeah. Ethereum didn't go down that much. Ethereum went from 31 to 29 or so, where it is right about now, 28 and change.
It could be worse, but I think some of the overall, just the market after this week, is kind of feeling a little bit, after this week is feeling a little bit weak. That's just, I did that already this week. But Baidu, we're going to talk about, we'll talk about Alibaba, now that are under pressure. Of course, I think it was unanimous across the board thinking that Nike was going to be under some trouble here. And yeah, you know, they're going to be probably testing that 150 level that we were talking about. So earnings is still there. I mean, Costco, I saw them as, when I came in this morning, it was flat, and you know, realistically, they probably, like, they actually were talking about, like, sort of not hoarding. People will be hoarding because they're going to be restricting some purchases because they're talking about supply chain issues, and that's not really affecting them. But the focus is going to be on some crypto names, which are moving. Coinbase is getting down towards some interesting levels, and then your Babas and your Baidus. And, of course, the firm, you know, managed to go higher once again.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Baba, but okay, that was a good idea about Nike. I mean, at least we hit that one out of the park. We talked about it yesterday live on the show that we wanted to, or that we were worried about supply chain. I mean, I even mentioned freight costs, and that's exactly what Nike comes with. And then you can see here today, NKE. We'll just check this out. On the imbalance locator, I don't see any Nike. We'll talk about Palantir. I think the sell is right on that today. It's been up a little bit. It's on the sticky note. Palantir sell, believe that or not. That's what I have, a sell on Palantir today. Okay, 20 minutes here, 151. This is the daily chart on Nike. A big drop down. We'll talk about Nike when we get going here. It is on our watch list, so I'm not going to analyze it too much now, but it's down that 5%. We'll see what happens. And then look, candidly, I mean, I may be a crypto bull, but I did sell, and honestly, I sold a decent percentage today. I did sell 10% of some coins that I have anyways, including Cardano and including Ethereum. I didn't touch the BTC holding, but I did sell some of that this morning when I woke up and started to see some of the rumblings and then the announcement on that China news. I think there's a little bit of risk this weekend, just because, generally speaking, weekends, haven't been great, and the markets can move there. And I think if we're going to move one way or the other in crypto, it'll probably be to the downside. And look, I just want to buy more. And if I sell and make a mistake now, and I have to buy 10% higher, I'll still do that. It's just right now, I just moved into stable coins, so I keep my money on the exchange, and then we'll wait to see if those implode. Hopefully they don't. And then we'll buy some more crypto on maybe Monday or Tuesday. I just want to see what happens this weekend. I don't like that kind of talk. I mean, I thought Alibaba, was a buy at 200, and then, Neil, I mean, China just keeps on coming down and dropping the hammer on everything. So Macau, if you buy Win at 100 and then Macau's story comes out, you're at 80 now, right? We've seen the same thing with LVS. We've seen the same thing with DD. We've seen the same thing with all of these recent Chinese IPOs. And now today with Baidu and YY, whatever that is, that got busted up as well. So I don't know, Brendan. Let's get Brendan's opinion. Brendan, if you were flat on crypto right now, do you think you would be buying this dip, or do you think there's a little bit more room to go?
It's so hard, and I was actually just going to ask you guys as well. I mean, I feel like in some ways the writing was on the wall that this was coming. Like if we go back to the summer, remember we were sitting right here talking about them making mining illegal right across the board. Right. So is this not just the next step, the next logical step for this to happen?
I would say yes, and name a single time that in the last year the CCP has come out against any, whether it's a sector, industry, or business, and the opening salvo was the last one. I think I might literally be repeating myself by saying that. It just always feels like you wait for the worst headline that you can imagine for that sector, and then can you say stronger words than what they just said? So now what are they going to do? That's as bad as it's going to get. But then, candidly, that's kind of what I thought when I bought Baba. I thought that was as bad as it could get for them.
The thing is, I don't think these. This is not a Chinese government coming out and saying it is illegal. I mean, this is just their thoughts, as far as I know. They haven't banned anything. They haven't banned coin.
Well, yeah.
What they went out? They just said that. But I mean, if you're operating on,
we don't know what they're going to do to them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Are their accounts closed? If Chinese citizens were allowed to have...
Sean, this is the quote, okay? All cryptocurrency-related activities are illegal. So any trading, any cashing out, any moving of money whatsoever, as far as I can tell, in China is now illegal. Also, overseas-based crypto exchanges providing services to mainland China are also illegal. So they can't even have money in... exchange.
I just don't know. Don't they have to pass? I guess it's because we're in a democratic society, so I don't know how that works. But I don't understand. Don't they have to pass some sort of a bill? This is the Bank of China can just come out one day and say everything regarding crypto is illegal. That doesn't.
Yes.
But then the market. But then we should be getting. But I don't.
Well, no. But
why are we not down 50% then?
Because the last bad headline a lot of times is the bottom of the move. But I'm not saying it's going to be true. I would wait till next week as well to be a buyer, just in case.
What do you mean not to be true? This is what I'm discussing. I don't understand. It either is true or it's not true. I don't understand.
True. I think it's.
Anyways, okay. So this is why I sold 10% of my crypto, because I mean we're sitting here not understanding if cryptocurrencies are legal anymore in China. Will you be arrested if you have a little QR code to a Coinbase Bitcoin account? I don't know what's going on, but anyways, let's get rocking and rolling. We're not talking politics here. We're talking crypto, and it just happens to be all around China today. So let's hit our watch list and let's get the party started.
Yeah, more to come, obviously, on this story. I think, as John was saying there, next week should be pretty interesting after the weekend. So before we go any further, here is Miss V. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Happy Friday to you all. I wish you a wonderful, profitable day. Please enjoy your trading and the show, and make sure to like this video. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Let's indeed, guys, get it started here. We'll talk a little bit about some of these Chinese names. As we said, that Baidu deal for Joy, which is the ticker is YY. China also coming out saying that that most likely won't be approved in that country. So YY specifically under pressure on that news. But we'll start things off here with Twitter. I want to talk about Twitter because Cathie Wood was back at it again over the past couple of days, snapping up. I mean, it's not huge for her, 55 million worth of Twitter shares over the past 2 days. I mean, the entire market was up huge yesterday, if you remember, but pretty nice looking chart here, guys, for Twitter yesterday.
Dollars.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
55 million?
Meh.
Yeah.
Ain't no thing.
Yeah, I trimmed it.
It's just a Thursday for her.
Yeah, exactly. Twitter was primed, and I don't know if we're going to blame today and blame today for not breaking out and holding above the 67 level. But yeah, like you said, Brandon, it's a pretty good looking chart. But it's almost like this nice little wave it's putting in here, and it's trying to get right back above to stretching to those highs. And it's a bit of a tight top from 67 to $1 up here, and it looks like that's where we're trying to go. It's Friday. The market is looking relatively weak. And this is the thing, like I was just looking at Moderna 450, which I don't like taking in the pre-market to the downside. And Twitter's similar. You get this like great, fantastic week, and you make that top at that 67, which is I guess the top end of that wave you're looking at in the daily chart, for lack of a better term. And it's easy to say, okay, well, it might give a little bit back with the market here today. And essentially, this little gap down is all of that. So on low volume, all it's doing is basically mirroring what the NASDAQ has done. I would lean, I'm looking at this setup, it's like I'd rather be shorting off the bottom. If it wasn't so thin, I'd already have Baidu, and I'm looking at Nike to short today, I'm looking at the Chinese names, I'm looking at possibly Moderna. I don't think you can do that with Twitter. I think the better approach would be to look for, okay, if I think it's going down, where are you going to buy a dip in something like a Twitter? And if it got crazy, you can't ignore wipeout bottoms. And I'm looking at 64.50, right in here, previous top, the beginning of a wipeout bottom in yesterday's action off the open, then right into 64. So if it even attempts to give up that yesterday's run, that's where I would want to be digging into it. If I think we're coming to the downside, it doesn't mean you have to short that particular stock. Like some, the approach is, hey, I'd rather be buying the dip, and others, it's no, I just want to be hitting that bid because the risk to reward that I think it's going down right here, right now, makes it worth it. I'm not going to make that play on Twitter, even though it might be looking like it's setting up that way. I think that's possibly better reserved for some other names here, not to pick on the Chinese names, but I can't see anyway. Baidu, maybe not because of the volume, but whether it's Baba or Nike or Baidu, I want to find my way short in one of them.
Just reading all these theories about crypto here. Some interesting ones on the chat. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's just above the 50-period moving average. I think anybody selling right now on a bump up in this market, I think is going to be correct. If I'm correct, I still think that there's a great buying opportunity coming in early October, which we're almost there. So I think we got one more week of some downside moves here, possibly starting off with today. Apparently, I guess she sold yesterday, right? So, I mean, that was a great spot there. I mean, there's lots of stocks that are going to look like this. They're going to come back down here today, right? So you're down 0.76% on the NASDAQ. We'll probably trade, back into these levels. And then if you want to buy Twitter, I think, and I don't know if there was a note there on when ARK is going to get back in, but, back down and around here makes a lot of sense, $60. So you sell here, you wait for a 10% dip, and you rebuy it. I mean, that's going to be sort of been the play here on Twitter. Big move up, right back down to 50, right here again, up 10%, down to 50, back up. This breaks in March, April, May there, obviously, and then comes back here to 60. I'm saying 50. It's 60, back to 60 again, and up, 60 again, back. Now we're back again. So let's just wait to see. I think it was a good sell by them. Twitter, I don't know. You gave that number last week there, Brendan, that they made $6,000 in there. I don't know if it was their tipping or whatever it was that they released over the first 2 weeks. So I don't know if Twitter's ever going to be able to monetize. Obviously, we like it, and it's a great tool to get information out. But I just don't know from a monetized standpoint. They've tried with Vine. They've tried some of those different videos. Now they're going to have tipping. They're going to accept Bitcoin, we saw yesterday. So I just think that, when companies start doing that, maybe you do get a peak a little bit in share price.
Just to clarify, she was actually buying yesterday, not selling. So okay. She picked up 829,907 shares, and then 600 in the flagship ETF. So she was buying 55 million, not selling for
everything we just said.
That makes more sense. Looking at the chart, it makes way more sense.
Yeah, I mean, it broke above. I like to buy stocks above the 50 period. My only thing was I think the market's going back down, so it makes sense to reload it later, but okay.
More news, guys, on this Hellbiz. Not as big as it has been over the past couple of days, but worth noting here, looks like California has become their next market. Remember the little media company, they picked up the rights for some soccer over in Europe, I believe it was, that we spoke about earlier in the week. But HLBZ did have a nice move yesterday initially, but faded that all the way back down to 20. Again, I think it's Sonoma County. I'll read through this, but California becoming their next market here for this HLBZ, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. If it does what it does yesterday, if it pops up, I think it's going to be worth a short. I kind of missed out on an opportunity here when that thing spiked up to 30, 31 at the open, and just spent the rest of the day capitulating to the downside. At this point, when you get these moves, like if it holds something like a 23, it's like, okay, great. And you held that high, you base out for a couple of days, and you get a really good run approaching those other highs. And that's if the low float squeezes continue or the meme names continue on. When you start getting into this downward trend, it's always usually back to previous support levels. And when I see this, it's like it's got room to 15 to 17. There's no volume in the pre-market, but it made that spike. I'll be hunting or looking for that again. I got to check to see what the pay for locate situation is, because I can tell you Zevo, the one that I'm really, really interested in, that's up 100% already. You'll see it on the watch list on nothing. We have no locates on Zevo, so I'm hoping that we get them eventually. That stock could go crazy. I kind of feel like if HLBZ makes a big move, it's more likely to be worth fading than trying to catch the train.
I mean, you're down 9% here, so we have to watch it out. 20-minute chart, yeah. I mean, back down to 13, and that's a nice base. I don't think we're going to get there on $21, but yeah, back upside. Watch out for 25. Just key levels on HLBZ. I mean, it was just its birthday, so you're going to have to wait to see where we go from here. But we came out at 11, ripped up to 31, and obviously this is what happens to IPOs. I mean, look at all the, look at QuantumScape. QuantumScape at one point, guys, was what, $140? I know people that are new to this game are going to be like, oh my God, there's no way QuantumScape was $140. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's down to 26, right? I mean, it couldn't have gone up that high when it first came to market, right? No way. But anyways, we'll let this load up and we'll see. There it is. There's QuantumScape. Yo, what's up, QuantumScape? This is there's the 140. Is it 141? I don't know what that exact high is there, but QuantumScape up there and then all the way like this. So I don't want to say that's going to happen to HLBZ, but this is what can happen to some of these high-flying initial IPOs.
As we were sitting here talking about Roku getting a Guggenheim upgrade, it was up nicely with the overall market yesterday. Had a pretty good day, actually. Not so much today. Roku's been riding the, I guess, analyst red pen up and down over the past couple of weeks. But Roku today, Wells Fargo cutting to equal weight, so downgrade plus price target cut for Roku. So remember, we had this huge move yesterday. It held up at 336, down better part of 3% here after Wells Fargo disagrees with Guggenheim, I guess.
Fight.
Allegedly. Fight. Let them fight it out. See what happens. No, obviously the market's going to determine these things anyways. And look, the timing of analyst ratings when they come in, some are a little bit quicker to react than others, and you can get something like this, and it might not mean as much as you think. The market overall is coming back in, but it is worth noting this is 3x or 4x of what the NASDAQ is currently down, and right back into that support level that I was looking for a dip yesterday into 325 to 328 in Roku, and oddly enough, look at the range that we're sitting in. It's like 325 to 328. So if we can't break above 328, it would feel to me like it's going to be downside on Roku today. I got some other names that I like a little bit better, but it's starting to get interesting, I guess. If Roku retests like 300, it had a double bottom down here at 300, and if it gets there again, and you're less than 10% away now. You're spitting distance away in Roku from that 300 level, which gets really interesting for a buy, if not even closer than that. But if it doesn't break 328 at the open, I think we're probably headed downside. Part of this is I have a bit of a negative bias coming in. Who knows? I mean, every now and then you can get like a down day starting out on a Friday, and then we'll catch a massive bid. But it does feel to me like after the initial exuberant reaction that we had with the Fed, despite it being a little bit hawkish, you had yields go up a little bit, and now the market's getting a little bit trepid. So maybe it just took some processing for some of the higher valuation names and for tech to come back in after the Fed. That's kind of what it feels like here.
I mean, people don't like Wall Street for lots of reasons, and I mean, my biggest beef is like, so this is yesterday or 2 days ago, right down here when you're in this area, 320, 321, then it gets upgraded, and so whoever it was upgraded yesterday, they're buying at 321, and then of course it rips up to 330, 340 on that upgrade. I wonder what they're doing at that point. And then, maybe they're selling it to Guggenheim, who then today comes out with a sell, right? So it's like buy here, sell here again, buy back here. So it's like, if you know these upgrades and downgrades are coming, which, who knows that, that, you can just mix words here and go up and down in 2 days. So I don't know. I don't really appreciate that kind of stuff. But at the same time, Roku's back down to this 320 area. I think you can buy it in here. There's some nice support. But for a day trade, let's just watch the futures. I mean, if the market starts to crash, then we know Roku's a very, very high flyer, and we'll follow that market. But right now it's a dollar spread, so we're not going to get anything in as the market opens. But Brendan's over at the big board, and the name's on there.
Yeah, a few more to pass along as well, guys. Costco, we'll talk about the earnings here. It's worth noting multiple analysts, as we see all the time when it follows earnings. Darden Restaurants, Dave & Buster's, Salesforce. I saw Dave & Buster's play nicely positive in the pre-market here. CRM, we talked a little bit about yesterday. There's Nike. Roku here, yeah, Wells Fargo today. Micron to the downside today, and TripAdvisor as well.
So I was going to look at CRM, Micron with a downgrade. We'll check that out in a little bit as well. But yeah, CRM with the upgrade, and it's just been sliding in the pre-market. This looked like it was going to be one of the stocks that was up when I sat down, because it's been in the midst of this 275 break and on a nice, awesome trend for the better part of the year here, except for the absolute start. And yeah, this market sentiment seems like it's getting the better of it. This looks like it was primed. You had that 275 hold. Like maybe it was even going to break out at 280. I don't know if that can happen without the market, even despite that, even with that upgrade. So, I'm gonna cancel looking at a 280 break on CRM. Just one note, and this is for you AMC apes out there, I guess. But AMC in a tight cluster at 40 at the top. So I like a 40 break on AMC on pure momentum. Sometimes when the overall market is down and some of the big cap tech names are down, you get the runs in some of these, I guess, meme squeeze type names. I'm just gonna go for that one today. And there is a good note. The gamer stream, I think it is. Yeah, there is a shelf offering that was filed on Zevo, right? And there's no news moving the stock to the upside, so you guys can connect the dots all you want, but we still have no locate, so can't go short anyways.
Okay, so I remember one of my, I know, I don't know about going short there, but yeah, shelf offerings, we'll just have to get the details on that. I remember when Micron, and the last time Micron had some sort of a downgrade that I remember that was pretty significant was when it was near the top, and this was a great trade on that day. It might have been in here. It was one of these days, and then it maybe came out here again. Micron just keeps on getting hammered, and now it gets another downgrade from Mizuho today, but we'll see what that means. I looking for a short on Micron all day. I mean, this is a 3-minute range, a chart here. We've bounced off 73.25 yesterday, and we may have, or we are going to have some resistance right there today. So, or some support at that level. Looks like it is supporting it right now, but that support will break, and then we'll come back down to the downside here, 72.60 or so. So I am going to be a Micron shorter here right now at 73.20. Just actually, I'm going to put the order in right now. I don't really mind doing it. But remember, when we're trading this thing off the open, like right now, this is not a big position. I just want to take the momentum in case we do crash down here a little bit. We'll start the day off. If you can make that little bit of scratch off the open, that's what we'll do. So 73.20 here on a break of Micron on that downgrade, especially into a negative market. Let's go short on Micron.
Just saw a couple other analyst moves here worth noting, guys. Both Chewy and Woof, pet-related products, obviously. Jeffries upgrading, talking positively on both Chewy and Woof there as well, so you can have a look at those. In the meantime, let's jump into what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. If you have not done so yet, that is the link you need to go to grab the morning watch list. We send it out every single morning before we come on, absolutely free. All you need is an email address, and you can have that for free every single day. Crypto stocks, top of the list today, and I mean, we can focus mostly on Coinbase here. Square, I noted as well, was also down a bit more than maybe it should be in the pre-market here. But again, this all comes back to what happened overnight. If you're just joining us, again, the People's Bank of China, in a question and answer period, it wasn't even a statement, came out and said all crypto-related activities in China are now illegal. So all of these guys, I mean, 3 to 6.5% I saw right across the board.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're looking at. Coinbase 4%, but the more important thing is, this was sitting pretty a couple weeks ago, looking to break past that 280. We're like, okay, let's get to that 300 level, which was that was just a shelf. That 300. So the lower high isn't a great idea for the chart. Like you kind of feel like it's inevitable that we're getting back to that 210 level. It's not going to get there without touching to two and a quarter first. I'm looking at that level for potential dip. I would much rather fade it today though. And if you do look at the chart here, it pulls back up. I look at like this 235. Well, I would do that. I look at this like 235 area and think that it's pretty close to breaking 230. And again, it's down 4%, but like Squares 2, a lot of other names are not quite that bad. I think there's a decent chance that if it were to come up, maybe you could take out 230 and people get some exuberance in there, and then that could be faded. Otherwise, I don't love buying the dip. I would normally look at 2-quarter. I'd probably be looking a little bit closer to 220 this time. Just thinking, who knows? It's Friday. I think it's going to be a bit of a negative tint here today. One note, I actually threw an offer. I'm looking to get Baidu short. I know it's not that much volume, but that's one I don't want to miss out on. And it's kind of creeping up here. So if Baidu gets to 158, I want to short that one. If Coinbase gets up to that 230, call it 234, in front of 235, that's where I'd probably be fading this one. No, to me, you're looking at that chart, that last resistance, double top at that 280 level on the daily. It does feel like with this headline, we could be sliding back towards, it's an all-time low, maybe not the 200, but even that lower high, 210, 215, could be in play. As long as we're kind of falling under these headlines today and the market is threatening that 1% down in the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about Coinbase right now, and I'm an investor in it. Not a heavy position, but I thought it would be a lot different action on Coinbase. 6-8 months in to their IPO. Mara, just to go over some of the names. There's obviously Mara, there's BTBT, there's Hut8. We've talked about that, SOS, SI, various names. But right now it looks like some of these are just barcoding, and I think there's a lot of issues right now understanding exactly like how we opened the show. Right, where are we exactly with all this talk in the crypto space? I'm laughing now because it's like I don't know what to do. It's crazy to think about what the next leg to drop here is. Like they could ban a lot of things. Like Brennan mentioned, I think it was in the early summer or last year when they mentioned about talking about cutting out some of the mining capabilities of some of these companies and if that was going to be legal or not. So Mara down here is an interesting level, 34 and change. They've a lot of these talks have been flying. So I think if you're invested in a Mara or you've been in a blockchain name for a bit, you've had some opportunities here to get out when BTC went back. We were just at 45,000 yesterday or this morning, and now we're back down to 41 and change right now. But this is a decent spot here. If it comes out that was kind of like a just kidding moment, this 37, 38 on Mara might be okay. But I'm always nervous about this 50 period breaking, and I think that if we get below, forget about this. Like we're not going to get down to 20, but if you break anything on there, that may be some cause for concern. SI, another one. Neil likes this, Silvergate, down to 100. Let's just see what these levels look like on a daily chart here. I haven't really been following it. No, this one's just chilling as well. So this is where I don't really know. You get any dip down here, 83, 84, 85, something like that on some of this worry. So hey, if you don't want to hold the actual coin itself, I think you can get involved. And I think this Silvergate is a good one because it doesn't have the moves in it that some of those other ones do. So I would look here, but for me, Coinbase is probably the best to day trade.
All right, let's bring in Arun here and get a look at the overall market because we are back in negative territory again after 2 big days back to the upside following the Fed. Arun, what do we need to know today?
Well, quite the move, right? This week has been pretty much a roller coaster, but I'm not sure where we are in terms of absolute movement. It seems like we had quite the move down. We rallied all the way back up, went positive slightly on the week, and here we are back, I believe, somewhere close to flat. We may be off by a few points, but this is starting to develop some interesting areas and interesting levels to work with. Probably not for today, but at least just long term going forward. It seems like there's a decent amount of activity below 4,400. We are 10, 15 points above there. So once we drop below 4,400, I would imagine we probably have like 10 points or so before we start hitting some support. So the closest level I've got is 43.50 to the downside, and the top end level I've got is 43.55, which was a high from yesterday. So almost 100 points wide for a day trader. I'm not sure what you can do with that, but at least we can use these levels and see how this market trades. And if we get close to either end, or even if it trades well throughout the day, we might have new levels develop. But for now, though, the only two things I can think of is potential short if we get somewhere close to 30, using that 55 as a marker if we get the setup. And of course, if we break below 4,400, we need to get that move down into the 90s. And once you cross 90, I would imagine there's going to be some support there in the mid 85s, or even low 80s. And if we can get that set up there, then you may have to go with the 43.50 stop, which is a 30-point risk profile. So be aware that the risk profile is for the moment, unless something changes drastically where the market goes sharply in one direction. Unless that happens, I imagine the risk profiles for these trades, especially intraday anyways, is going to be somewhat large. So just be aware that the range is there. Well, I wouldn't call it a range. The levels are there. They're 100 points apart, and that the risk on them is going to be somewhat large if you decide to go for the trades. So whatever happens at the open, we do have options. We have one to the top end. We have one to the bottom. We are sitting pretty much where we kind of were around this time yesterday, around that 44.10 area before we fell below 4,400. So we'll see how this market opens today, but just be aware that the ranges are wide and there might be a higher risk needed to be taken if you want to trade, especially in the futures anyways.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. Have a great weekend. We'll check back in again on Monday. It is Nike time, guys. Worth noting before we talk about the actual report, JP Morgan, Cohen, among multiple analysts coming out with price target cuts on Nike after this report. So not good. I mean, the numbers were there or thereabouts. They missed, but not by a lot. They did, as we said, talk about some supply chain issues, some shipping issues, especially heading into the holiday season, which is not going to fare too well for Nike.
That was a concern of ours yesterday when people were asking us at the Power Hour show. Join us every day at 3, by the way, when we'll talk more about earnings and what we expect to happen. We nailed it. We absolutely nailed it. So watch out for your screens. We talked about this. We both did not like Nike for a buy. And I said, you never really want to buy or sell anything into earnings, at least not too much. That's why I always recommend if you want to play, some options and make a quick little bet on something. And if you win more than you lose, then you'll make money. But, as an investor, I didn't like Nike up here. I thought that they would warn of exactly what they warned for: shipping costs, the future outlook, the lack of stability in China, things like that. So they said all the right things to get their stock down. And now at 150, honestly, it's pulled back a lot here, and it's high of 175. Their last report back here in June was a rocket ship to the north side there, and we actually thought Nike was going to beat on that aspect, so that was good. We were right around the 50 period at that time. We're well below the 50 period now at 164, so that gives me the indications to think that we were going to be negative yesterday. Plus, we know what China means to them. Plus, you also had the Olympics bump here as well that we were talking about back in June. That's now over right now. So I don't know. Down here at 150 makes a lot of sense. That's where we went to on that bump. A lot of people probably, long in here. Maybe they didn't cash out. Maybe now's a spot that they do think about cashing out. But 150, a little bit of a dip back in. I'm a buyer somewhere in the middle of this candle. If we can get like a 140 to 145, I think that makes a lot of sense for Nike. But, they're not going anywhere. You want to talk about a name, Neil, you always talk in our videos about Procter & Gamble and some names that have staying power. Yeah. Nike's definitely not going anywhere. So their revenues were fine. What was it? Amazing reported revenue, $12.25 billion. Okay, when the analysts, had expressed a little bit higher, $12.46 billion, but they still did beat from the prior quarter of $10 billion. So they're still up, they're still rocking and rolling, but I don't want to touch anything that really has China exposure, unfortunately, right now. But I think if Nike continues to fall, rather than bumping into Baba and Baidu and some of these other names, I'd rather just stick with an American company that does business in China that hopefully can get their stuff together.
Yeah, and the shipping thing is a bigger one. And I think sometimes you can actually wait for a headline. I know we go over support levels and we go to areas that we're comfortable buying a stock in the long term, and that makes sense. But sometimes, the catalyst does matter. Like maybe you do let these supply chain issues work themselves out over the next 6 months and just be uber patient with it. and that's the approach. As a day trader, I think we already went over this one, or maybe we didn't. But if we didn't, I want to fade Nike today if I can. I think certainly we're not even at that 150, and there's room between 150 to 148 on the daily chart for it to even break that level and still kind of be holding. So if it goes anywhere up to like 153, I'm short in front of 153 or anywhere in that range. I can't get on board with buying it today after that print. It's going to be difficult for me to look into a dip buy unless it's break 150, hold that 148 level, and that $2 price range is I think where I would at least consider it. So for now, I'm going to go for the Nike short today, which I probably said like 3 times in a row. I want to be in front of that 153. I can probably park an offer. Pre-market, I don't think it's too bad. And it's actually done decent volume for Nike, I should at least say. But for the long term, you can definitely wait on this bad boy. I just really think that you can let the supply chain issues come out. And when I said 150 to 148, it's only because you've got to give it some room, because this previous high here that was resistance was about a 148 level, and that's why I say that in addition to 150.
But before I just go back to Brendan here, I just want we got, first of all, thank you so much to a new member, Workout0404, work it out. Thank you for becoming a member. That's great, and thank you for supporting us. It's $5 a month. The show is free, and I also want to let people know that super chats, we'll try to get to them as much as we can. And I did see this one, and it's Palantir, so we will talk about that. So thank you so much for that super chat. Look, it's on my note today as a sell. So you don't often have, if you want to find it, sticky note, it's at TraderTV Sean, spelled properly, not with 2 N's, not with 2 T's, nothing like that. And look, I just think, and I said it, I think it's too much. I just think it's gone from 26 here 2 days ago, 26.50, all the way up to 29 into some of this resistance levels up here that we've seen before. And, this spark, this drop down, I mean, obviously the market's been pretty volatile this last week and a half. But, I mean, look at this move. Just September 9th, we were at $25, right? So you go from 25 to 29.50. That's 20%. So, is it? Wait a second. $5 up to, $30. So $5 on 25. Yeah. So, okay. So you get that bump up, 20%-ish up there in about a week and a half. Probably a little bit too much considering the environment that we're in. So I just want to short Palantir, and it's, We'll wait for it. The levels that I wrote down here was let's wait to see what happens at 28. So we'll see if Palantir can take a little bit of a move up to the upside today. It tends to do that off the open. Here's a 1 minute range. You saw yesterday here shooting straight to the upside. The day before that, shooting straight to the upside. So you've got 2 straight days where you've got a lot of action to the upside here off the open. So we'll see if that happens. And if it does, I do want to be a seller in this area. Let's just see what happens at 28. If the market spits down, then I don't have a problem going short at 28, but I would much rather short Palantir into this area near 29 and then use yesterday's top if we're wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong it. I mean, we will put some money to work, and I don't ever want to lose, but at the same time, I just feel that we have to stick with our principles. It's the same reason why we shorted Lucid 2 days ago and went long Lucid yesterday. Neil, myself, and Brendan are purely day traders when we talk about these positions. If it's a long-term hold, we'll tell you, but for right now, I'm going to be looking to short Palantir on any pops. And thank you for the super chat.
Multiple different angles here to talk about Chinese stocks this morning, guys. Just watching this news feed over here because this thing just came out here on Evergrande. So, I mean, it's nothing, but Evergrande investors still in limbo after payment deadline passes. So we sat here yesterday and talked about the importance of this headline or the possibility of a headline. There was a deadline yesterday for a interest payment. We don't know whether or not they actually made that payment. So no update yet, but we do have these two to work with. So Baidu down on a report China's unlikely to approve the acquisition of Joy, which is that YY stock. They were looking to acquire that. On this side, Alibaba under pressure as well. So Chinese regulators pressuring them to divest their 5% stake in this media giant. So one of the broadcasters over in China that they own 5% of, they're going to have to get rid of that. So, I mean, any of these names, again today, guys, back in the red.
So Baidu chart, any of them are going to look pretty much the same. There's a 50 period, which it's actually been hugging as resistance the entire way, at least lately. If I zoom in, you can see even better here, right? So there's your Baidu chart. There's your headline that Brendan gave you. This is a two-day bottom. I know there's a wick bottom below this 158. Fair enough, I get that, but sometimes you can throw those out there. It's not a true violation of this level. I mean, support, 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 resistance, support, support, resistance. So I'm already sitting in front of 158. I know it's pre-market and it's low volume, but you know what? Give me a break. Like if I get a chance to get short 158 on Baidu, I'm just doing it. That's one I want to get today. That one and Nike, as we said. And this is just like like Sean said, like, it's a pure momentum play here. Like I'm out of the money now, 10% in a short order, up 10% in a week and down 10% in a couple of weeks. Down 20% now is Baidu, but down 10% in my entry in Alibaba. But today, I'm just betting that we're going a little bit further down in some of these Chinese names, and Baidu's the one I'm picking on. I could probably find a setup for Alibaba as well. I like the sort of double action that you have with the news on Baidu, and then of course being able to play off this level on the 15-minute chart. I like that as well. So sometimes it's about having a bias in a direction, and then just find whichever instrument is going to give you the setup that you like. So I'll go with Baidu today.
Stretching action there. I'm waiting for my cousin to message me. He wants to do lunch. I told him let's do this, but well, hopefully he'll do that. No, you don't know. Okay, so right here, Dustin, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the jungle. We have fun and games. This is EGRNF. So this is something that I didn't even really know about because it's blocked in our system. This is Evergrande. So this is Evergrande. You could trade it here in the OTC markets. And we don't have Jeff today, but I think we'll have him next week. Or we'll talk to Jeff about this name as well. It never came up whenever we were discussing with him. And again, if you look right here, what was that? If you hear, did you just hear something? What day? Where am I? Okay, so 20 million shares. Anyway, the reason why. Chart, if you can go to this chart, guys. Yeah, look at the volume here. So this is why we've never really heard of it, because the volume, maybe if I can move this up a little bit more, there it is. The volume really was nothing until recently when everyone started talking about it. And then, so this is it, EGRNF. If you really did want to trade this name over here on the pink sheets, it's also 3333 in Hong Kong, as that's their symbol there. But you could see just back in February, which now seems a long time ago, this was $2, and now it's 35 cents and just kind of hovering around. I don't know if this stock is going to get delisted. I mean, can it get delisted any further? This is the OTC markets. Probably comes off at some point. But if you did want to look at Evergrande, here it is right here on the OTC market. So EGRNF. I just wanted to bring that because we did a video on this that's going to be released over the weekend, and I used that chart. So if any of you were thinking that, hey, this is going to default, doesn't look like they made the payment, but again, we're not sure. So EGRNF on that name. And anyways, I still have Palantir up here, but the same story is true. I know Neil just went over a few names. I'm not buying anything else. I'm just waiting for Alibaba to dip as far as it possibly can. That's still the Palantir chart. Before I buy anything, I'm already stuck. I told you what my price is, like 212, something like that. So it's really bad. It's in the long-term account, so we'll wait on it. I have no intentions of selling. I'm getting in and out of some softy now, some Facebook, some AMD. I'm talking about that. I can't sell Alibaba when it's all the way down here. Realistically, it should have been taken out when we broke that 200 level, but we did have some resistance down here at 180, 190 that we thought would hold, and that didn't hold. So at this point, this is just a really wait and see now for China. I don't really know what we're waiting for, but it's going to be a funny one here as we go. So Alibaba, just continue to watch this name to the downside. I'm not buying any Chinese names. That's including NIO as well, which I really like. I don't know what the next thing to happen here in China is. So I almost feel like I should just liquidate my BABA position, but I'm not going to. It's not huge, but it's enough for me to keep talking about it.
Definitely never a dull moment. Tuesday, guys. Tuesday we'll have Jeff Mendel, VP of OTC Markets, so we'll touch on that for sure because we'll still obviously be talking about this Evergrande thing into next week. Costco reported another beat for Costco, not unsurprisingly, $3.90 per share versus $3.57 expected. Revenue up 17.5% again, $62.68 billion. You look at the chart and it seems like nothing even happened.
On the market today where you want to be buying. Costco is going to be an obvious opportunity. I'll throw a few names out there. GE might be a good place to go. I'll say a U.S. Steel, but you can probably go right over to Nucor as well if that's your preference. Either one's going to be fantastic, but not even a blip. And like I said, the same concerns when it comes to supply chain. You're running into some of those same issues with Costco, but they're just chugging along, and this is not much of a pullback for them. It's a choppy chart. There's no day trade here, guys. That I see, but there is a 450 level level that's been support for the greater part of the week. Just keep in mind, it'll break that level because it is so whippy. You always have to give it an extra dollar. But I do have to jump away from the topic to go to the super chat that we just got on Affirm. I think it was a gamer saying there that, and thank you for that super chat. Holding an Affirm short 130, what do I do with it? I think you got a good, I mean, you have a good one, obviously. Let's be honest about it. We're about $2.50 in the money. Now, Affirm broke through this 120, like it broke through that 125 level. It's interesting to see. Like I like the fact that you have a short above the high of yesterday, right? So one of the things that does, it gives you an entire dollar's worth of range between break even and that top to give you some cover to want to hold this into the open. Now, if it was me, would I be covering some? Like, if you look at that price area in the afternoon yesterday, this 126. That also happens to be where it broke out this morning. If it was me as a day trader, would I be covering in front of it? Yeah, sure, I'd be taking some off. If 125 breaks, you've got a gap down to 120 to 122. So the way I would structure a trade like that is usually I'm taking a third out here. I'm using the momentum of the 125 break and people stops getting run to get some out in that 124 level and holding it down to like a 120 to 122. And that target area of support is going to be the last out. All the while, you have to have made this decision before you get into position, and I don't know what your risk to reward is, because you're either stopping, high of the day and giving it some room off of that because we're near all-time highs, or now that it's worked in the money for you, you're giving it maybe, that 130 break even because 129 broke, you're giving it somewhere in that range. But you can't, you should have already made the decision as to where your stop is before you got into position. But I think you can definitely hold some just in case it does break up 126. It's fantastic news that they got yesterday, but it wasn't new. I mean, that new checkout system that they had, I think that was anticipated. I didn't think it was too big of a surprise, but the market absolutely loved that news coming in just as heavily. And if the market's going to go down more than 1%, it's high flyers and high valuation names that usually are going to be under pressure. What?
Ooh, no, I was listening to what you were saying there, but I actually didn't even look at the price. I thought Affirm was still around that 130 level because I saw that super chat about, no, I saw this shorting at 130. Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I wanted to, I only have 4 names on my list here, and I actually want to buy Affirm on these dips as well. So, I mean, back down here to 126, I think that's a good opportunity for sure. So I'm going to actually put a bid right now on that. I mean, they're introducing a new product, so I think that's something that needs to be bought as well. So I do like Affirm. Costco, I know that's what we started with. I like Costco. You mentioned Nucor. I think if you're going to get into any steel name, I know you like U.S. Steel. Nucor, again, on the dip. I actually don't even know. Let's go chart. I actually don't know what this pullback is in relation to U.S. Steel, but I mean, Nucor's fallen from grace. It's pretty hard. They both get. So 125 back down to 100. So that's a 25% haircut in a month on a huge steel producer. And one of the solid, I mean, you're right back. You know what? I'm not exposed to any steel. I'm going to buy.
It's a buy. One of the I'm just
going to buy this one. Yeah. I'm just going to buy Nucor. I've just because I've read more about it. I don't know as much about U.S. Steel, but I do like Nucor in the infrastructure bill. I mean, I think this is a buy here. I don't even know why it came down to this level, but wow, 93. Yeah, you know what? I got to start putting some like miracle bids out, and then when they get filled, they get filled, and that's not a horrible idea on some of these plays. So yeah, I'm going to be looking to get some Nucor on any dips here. I like that call.
Affirm, guys, on the list as well. I think it was the launch. So yesterday, they talked about this adaptive checkout product yesterday, but it was the launch, the official launch of that product that gave that a little bit of a boost late in the day yesterday. The guys just went over that Affirm, though, so we'll move on. Marin, back on watch, pretty active here in the pre-market once again, guys. If you remember back on Tuesday, they talked about the Google revenue share for Marin. So worth watching here. I mean, we're not terribly active as far as price action is concerned for this MRIN again, but I mean, this can get going when it wants to.
It can. And to be honest, well, we're always honest around here. It's just a figure of speech. I always say it, to be honest. Whatever. This 840 level on Marin that it held in the pre-market. This is on my 15-minute chart. That's what you'll see. But I want to go, if I can, to the 1 minute and then just take you back to the breakout that happened here. So you had the break after market, and that's when it really ran after market on about like an 870 break. But the reason I'm saying 840 is I look at when it broke 840 while we're on the Power Hour show, and then dipped right into the close back to that 840 level before it made that break. So that's where the consolidation was. and then you're lining up with a pre-market low off this 840, which seems like support, and then a break. I mean, you're going to look at the same break, 870 essentially, and you're going to twice run into that number here this morning. Now, the volume isn't fantastic, but if I'm looking for something for a breakout, I like to have a defined level of risk. And yes, can you get whipped around in a stock like Marin? 100%, but I like it. I like it for that 870 break. I think you can put a stop just below that 840, and then your risk to reward is pretty defined in that regard. So I'm locking that one in for myself on Marin. I just like the upside of it. Like I'm not saying you're going to go all the way to 10 like you did in the aftermarket, but certainly, getting into that 925 to 930 range is well worth it for the risk to reward. You take some out in front of 9 even for that quarter. You take some out around the 925. So I'm looking for Marin for the long. I know it's flat, the volume not necessarily there, but I want that break when it happens. 870.
Yeah, Marin's a good one. ATER, again, Ethereum, another name that is running around a little bit here. It's been a good one for the last couple of days if you're into random spikes and jumps and things like that. ATER today is right back to 12. So again, I need to just, I don't know why your charts seem to be loaded so fast, and mine still.
Juan gave me the secret chart.
Yeah, I know. I have the secret charts too. I thought I was the one that was pumping these. Okay, 11, 11, 25, 1150. So that's what I want to talk about here with Ethereum. I think 1150 is a good spot for this name. Although we've seen these huge moves in this name, it still looks like this level here, but 1150 goes all the way back a few days, anyways, where it's been some kind of support down here to 11. We did dip one day to 10, bounced around, but we came back and stopped at this 11, 11, 25, 1150 area. So I think that any dips down here, that could be expected for it to maybe stop in the 11 range. And if we continue to the downside, then you have to really worry about this 9 break. But I still think it seems to be legit up here. Remember, this was formerly Mohawk, MWK, so this was a high flyer at one point, up to $40, $45. Since then, it's come crashing down. I can't believe this was a $3 name not too long ago. But you're right into this level, and there's 12 again, going all the way back to May. So there is something here on Ethereum, so watch out for those 11, 12 areas.
Let's talk about AEHR test systems, guys. So I was just double checking it's 284 million on the market cap for this stock, 20 million share float. So this company makes equipment that tests semiconductors. So I remember we were trading this thing way back here, I think it was in July, when it made this move up to $8. But here we are this morning after a better than expected earnings report for this name, up at 13.50 now, but 15.50 at the top end there, guys. What a daily chart for this stock.
I want to quickly go over something here because we had this conversation about remembering it earlier when this came up to put on the watch list. And whenever we, just there in Marin, when I was talking about that breakout and then holding a key level, sometimes you get these stocks that go absolutely parabolic. And then when it does that retracement, just look to see where it holds. This held about 540 to 550. I know it sat there breaking it, but it never could get any traction below that level, that initial pullback to 540. Look, it's just 30, 40 cents down a couple times and holds 5 even. If ever you see something like that, and then this is not necessarily this isn't a nothing company, and if you go back, it's not sitting there with a horrible looking chart. Yes, it's a smaller cap name, which is only trading at $2, but it actually been gradually rising. So when it goes parabolic, it's on momentum and a clean break of a previous high. So you get something like this, and then you hold that higher low, you look for breakouts, because it broke out the lower high and then held that support. It's just the setup on this should have been there. And I hope someone was looking at this from after we got it. But keep these stocks in mind, when they pop, and then hold that initial retracement and give you that consolidation, especially when there's a little bit of meat on the bones here, because I kind of feel today it's going to be difficult to like this one unless it gets back down to 12 even. It's now just gone so parabolic, and it's been selling off all pre-market. So, if anything, I would be looking to short this name around 14 to 14.50, just given how the trade action has been in the pre-market if it pops at 930. But it's a huge miss from when we were talking about it, as Brendan said, to not look at that consolidation around that 5 to 540 level for weeks on end, and then it eventually breaks out. And this is an example of when it's people that belong from there probably looking at this earnings print as a chance to sell. So. What?
Wow, Rob's over there crushing a butter tart right in front of us. I like butter tarts.
I love
Let's
butter
go to that
tarts.
view if you have it there. Oh, you can't see though. There he is. He's dancing. It's too dark. We need a spotlight over there when you guys do that view. Can you guys turn on one of those lights when you do that? Maybe it doesn't matter. Anyways, I was like, wow, butter
Eat that
tart.
in front
They
of
don't
you.
have too many butter. There he is. Now he's trying to figure. There's now Brendan's in the video there now. Hey, Brendan. Yeah, Brendan's stealing. You don't have to worry. I don't think Brendan's taking that butter tart, but yeah, that there. What is going on here? Welcome to the show, guys. It's Friday, and that was great. He was, you know, the thing that caught me is he was sort of dancing with the butter tart. So that's what I
so
like.
Rob.
But hey, it's great to have such a good spirit, and we're really happy to have Rob back.
And I just got Biden.
Okay, so I just want to quickly, I have this up. Thank you so much for renewing your membership there, Andra. Thank you so much for that as well. Yeah, he looks like Loki, people are saying. Okay, Andra, there you go. Thank you so much for that, renewing. It means a lot to us, all the members that are part of the team here. So thank you so much for being a member. I think we're near 1,500 or so on the membership. I just want to talk about Palantir quickly here. You know, because it's on my watch list, it's on my sticky note as a sell. I just want to tell people I do have offers out right now in this area, 2880, 2870. In case we do get a pop-up, I will be selling it if it does break these highs. So, you know, this is going to be one of those trades that's going to look super horrible on me because we'll average into it a little bit and then we'll get out when it breaks, when it wicks higher, and then it will probably tank. But we have a play for that. So when that happens, we know what to do. So we're going to watch out for that one. But that's that. So just letting people know that I am a bull today, or bear, sorry, on Palantir and the market in general. Although right now we are getting a little bit of a spike up. I know Brendan's at the big screen. Just quickly, I just want to talk about the Qs because Arun was there. There's a nice level on the triple Qs here that I like, and I already have my order in on that as well. It's 373. It's right here. So this is the triple Qs. This is the NASDAQ 100. If the market goes, I'm buying this level right here. 373 on the Qs. It topped out there a couple days, and it was where we started this whole thing off. So we're going to do some 373 buying. I don't know if we get there. The Qs can move like super quick. So if I do miss something, at least we'll take the market. If it does break back out to positive land, we should have the Qs on board. But Brendan at the big screen.
A number of small caps to touch on as well this morning. This one, CAPR, popped up a little bit later on in the pre-market there, but positive news for this one. If you go out to the daily chart, there are big multi-month levels around 620 to 650. And this is another stock that if you go out to a higher time frame has a history of every time it pops up on news gets slammed right back down. So 620, 650. Above that, there's a bit of space though. This is one of those ones that you kind of have to be careful of. It is trading under VWAP currently, but if it retakes VWAP, don't be surprised if you see this back up around 650 for CAPR, guys.
Yes, sir. A couple of minutes to go here. A couple of things. One on our watch list. I did get that Alibaba. I'm going to get these two mixed up. Baidu. They're not the same company, obviously. I got that Baidu short at 158 or just slightly below it. It spiked up there. VT. There was some discussion over this in the chat pre-market, and I did make my comments sort of known about this at 225. And I went back to the last time it sort of spiked up, what the action was, and how it sort of held. It sort of held that previous close. And look, I look at this at 225. There's sort of an obvious turnaround point there. If it pops 10, 15 cents into 225, I want to be taking this one into the short side of the trade. So I'm already sitting on the offer for the 930 rollover trade. I waited till after 8 o'clock with these ridiculous dark pool dumps. It has not even drifted anywhere higher. There's no signs of it getting there, but I want to be ready just in case it does go. Everyone's yelling about Naked Brands and Smile Direct. I will say this. Smile Direct has been rather sleepy recently. I don't really see anything. There's no there for me. There. I like AMC for potential break at 40. Like I said, I really like that Marin. Looks a little bit better for an 870 break to the upside. I'm looking Nike to short 152. I think I'm sitting at 152.50-ish, just slightly in front of it. And then Zevo. I keep every couple of minutes I check for locates on Zevo. And like we said, shelf offering was registered for a few weeks past. It's up on no news that I can see, and then it goes right into some resistance levels from last week. From earlier on in the week, up to 760. And normally I'd be, I would have been probably shorting this at 7 to 720, giving it to the high of the day, but still no locates. I'll check one more time before the market opens just to see if I can get any.
All right, Micron is the only position that I have right now, and I like it. I'm going to average into this one up to 74.25 or so on Micron. They get that downgrade from Mizuno today. Again, it's a small position, but we are loaded up, ready to go if we get into this area. 74 yesterday was the drop-off spot. I can't imagine this stock's going to go back to positive, so that's basically my play here on Micron, and they got downgraded. It's not a great market right now, so let's wait to see what happens here, but I want to average into this position. It's going to be the only one I'm really looking at here off open. I do have the Qs order ready to go, and then a few other things like the Palantir short. that we're looking for and a firm back to 126. We'll have a look at that, and then we'll watch Nike like Neil was talking about there. So a few names on watch. ATER back to 1150 as well. So let's get ready to rock and roll with only 15 seconds right now. I don't know if our clocks are the same to today. It looks like they are. Let's get ready to rock and roll.
There we go. Yeah, yours, it was off.
Yeah, yesterday was off. What a surprise. I mean,
we're good to go here. 5, Miss V on the bell. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's ring that bell and get this party started. And I did get the locates at the last second on Zevo just before the open here. I am watching it. This is on my 15-minute chart. I am watching it sort of slide to the downside. I was kind of hoping we would get some kind of a pop into the top, and then I could use first level, that 750, as a bit of a stop level and get a short on Zevo. Let's see what happens here. All I have is that Baidu position, but Zevo front of mind.
Yeah, and we also are looking right now at trying to see what crypto's doing. It's not doing too much. We still have Micron on our mind. It's not really giving me any opportunities here to get more short. This is the price that we're in at, so we're definitely trying to watch this out and see what we're doing right now with this name, but that is, of course, Micron. So let's look at something else here. Micron's starting to go upside, so this is where you want to start to average in right now to our Micron position. We are waiting at 73.70. That might be too high. Let's take another offer right now on that. We can check out what Nike's doing. We actually didn't look at the imbalances as we got closer. They weren't nothing. Yeah, they weren't anything when we first checked them. There's Nike right at 150 and not even open yet.
Yeah, so I got some Zevo here. I got 689. Now, ultimately, I do like 750 as an out. So this is a position that I'd be looking to maybe catch some more shares in the 7 to 720. Well, I mean, forget about it. I can say I would take some more shares at 750, but then it flushed down to 650. So if I can get some out in front of 650, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll shoot 6 even for the next lot and then see what happens on Zevo, which we finally got those locates, but that was absolutely at the last second. Going the other direction is Baidu, because why wouldn't Baidu go the other direction? Baidu heading to the upside here. I got that short early in the pre-market at 158 when there was like random headline and just spike up on absolutely almost no volume. It's actually continuing now. I can't give it past 160. This is exactly the opposite of what I anticipated happening here. So Baidu on the run a little bit. Nike going the other way. There was no pop to be faded on Nike. You just had to short that one. This is me sitting on the offer and missing it by 10 cents.
Ooh.
10
Damn
cents.
it. Yeah, right down to that 150 level. We did talk about that. Now Nike trying to make some moves here like we talked about right there. So Micron, still dancing around. We didn't get anything up there. Well, we should have waited at 50, so we'll wait there again to see if we can get some 50s here on Micron. So we're looking out for that one right now to come through. Hopefully it comes through. Neil, what's Alibaba doing right now? I'm not really seeing that much in the market. If you guys have any names that you want for us right now, let us know because I'm not seeing a whole hell of a lot. AMD 105.50. We talked about that. Naked Brands maybe moving right now, 68 cents though for Naked Brands. That's trying to move. TMC, wow, CRM bumped on that. CRM up to 281.
Yeah, so I just got some Zevo out there. We'll do this because it's the only thing that's actually giving me a fill. I got some Zevo out in front of 750, but I'll bite, and I'll put Naked Brands on the quote board here. It's okay. So you know what? It is moving a little bit, and that's usually something that I get involved in. But yeah, I mean, give me like 70, call it like 70 to 75 cents is where I would probably try to get into it. I really reloaded Baidu because it held 159.50, so I'll take a few more shares there. But it's Nike that was one of the names I wanted to have, and the market's actually spiking up. And I thought maybe you'd be able to use a spike in the market to get into some Nike. I can cancel that offer. I'd have to at least think about 150, 150 instead of that 152 to 152 half, just adjusting my plans. But now here comes 150 bid. Looks like Nike might be, yeah, it's gone, man. Brendan, what's up?
Not seeing much on DoorDash, guys, but a nice spike here at the open for Dash in New York, heading higher, 2% so far on decent volume.
Okay, we did not reload on Micron, but we'll take a little bit out right now as we take that. Damn it, pissed off that we missed that 750 area there, 73.50. We should have had that, but we do not right there. That's a missed opportunity. That's the only position that we have on right now is that. So unfortunately, we're still looking for something to happen. AFRM right now, 129. Oh man, I can't. We got that bid down there to 127, and we missed it. We talked about that early as well. That we like this 126 buy. Now you're ripping to the upside right now, breaking through 130. Watch out for 132, man. I'm going to go long on a 132 break on a firm. I think I like that one, Neil. That looks good.
It is breaking higher. Yeah, so this is the thing. Like, always take profit if you can. If you, I think we talked about that short position. Like I said, I would take profit in front of pre-market lows and have a couple of levels down that I liked. Whether or not you're stopped at 130 break even or you're giving it to the high of the day, either one is certainly going to be reasonable. Moderna was another name that I was mentioning here, looking pretty good for that setup. Hey, guess what happens? On the market bouncing here, it actually broke the pre-market high and then faded back in, which does give a bit of a Moderna setup for me. So you have that highs at 435.60. We can think about like 434 here. If it does want to linger up, and I can only risk about $1.50, like if you can give me $1.50 to $2 worth of risk for a rollover short, I'm going to go ahead and take it. Still looking at Zevo. Watch out for this Zevo. Like, yes, I do overall like the short. I think at some point today, if it holds up, it might be flushing, but it's holding this 650 level pretty well. So I might go ahead and think about like getting a little bit conservative with the rest of this position. Like, you know, not add in that $7 range, only add at $7.25 here, and just be very, very cautious with this Zevo. I just got Moderna, 425.50. That's looking good so far. Brendan, what's up, bud?
Dat chat starting to go again here, guys. Remember, this one popped up late in the day yesterday. Just broke that high on volume there. 3.5% for Dat chat.
All right. You know what? I'm also going to take win right now if I can get it at 70 or so. We'll see if we can bid out through and grab some win right now. Small position if it dips down. Oh, damn it. We just missed that. Why didn't I just hit the market key on that? Stupid me. Win right now. It's starting to go to the upside. Nice little move. Wow. Boom. We'll see if that can go. I know that we talked about that earlier about Macau and what that means to them. I think win is a very, very high risk, high reward play right now. So if you are interested in something with Macau and maybe the Chinese government, we're going to test it right here with win. So we're going to go long right there. DATS, that's a good one. We hit this yesterday. I think it was 10 long, remember? We got out at 10:30, 10:29, and we got the next piece out at 10. Oh, here it is right here. So we hit that yesterday. So bang, bang, bang. Nice trade in the afternoon there. Looks like we're trying to break out higher right now. I remember this level. Yeah, okay, so it was this 9 level that's breaking. So right now, DATS looks like it wants to take out 11 here. Probably a good long in through 11, guys.
So, and apparently with the market bouncing, of course I end up short absolutely everything, but when you have a bearish approach, in a day like today when the market was down, when it pops up and you get some fills, I got that Moderna 452.50. I'm sitting in front of 450 to scalp some out there. AEHR, which just popped in. Remember, it came all the way back to 1450. I said if it got to 1450 and then put in a bit of a reversal, that's where I would try to get into it. I got a 40 short because he saw it spike to 50, then pulled back, suckered me into the trade. This is a strong company. Like I said, it's actually real. A little bit more real, so I don't want to get too far in front of this one. I'm watching out for like 480 to break. If that goes, I'm going to be no moss there. Just covered some Moderna for $2. I'm holding through a 450.
Boom! Yeah, we'll hit a bag for both those trades. Bang on Moderna, bang on win. Win 84.70 there, out 84.530. We're still holding on to some of that one, and we have a firm. A firm breaks that 132. It's not going to look good right now because it's bouncing around. We may have just taken that top, so I'm going to watch out for this one. A break back down here near this VWAP, and we got to get out of that one. It looks like we're going to be wrong on that firm top, which again, because it was a breakout and because it was early, it's not a whole hell of a lot. I'd rather average back into this thing near that 130 mark. So we'll take another stab back down there at 130. Look at Micron, man. Good average in on the downside on on the upside as well. We get that print that we were waiting for. Now it's falling back down. Let's start cashing out of some of these, man. Big wins here.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that Moderna, I'm just going to adjust the approach here, because if it actually holds up at 450, I was just taking some out there in front of 450. If it holds up here, you're likely to get that consolidation, that tight consolidation to the high a day. And so I'll only want the same price or better if I have to re-enter the short. I see a wick down here to 443. I don't even know if that's real, but I'm gonna park my bid. If I can actually get 443 or somewhere in front of it, and I can bag a $9 winner off that kind of move, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. That Zevo is catching a bit of a bid. Again, so the higher low at 650 held. I got some out in front, and then this support level was kind of broken at 6.25. I took some out there. If 6 breaks, I'm holding on for dear life on Zevo. If this is a top here, that lower high in front of 7, this could be all the way back down to like $4 or $5. Brendo?
Unique Fabricating, another little tiny one popped up in the pre-market here. Yeah, it's 8 million free float on this one, so be careful. UFAB, trying to take out day highs here, guys. 4 though. Seems to be a problem, but decent volume.
Yeah, I think I said in the chat, like I had a pre-market short and got run over on this stock and kind of went away from him. Like, yeah, this one's too. When it's a runner and it's a low float one, you have to be very, very careful. I'm not going to sit there shorting it over and over again, but watch out for this $4 range, because there is a bit of a battle being waged here. Just sort of seeing like you have some stacked offers that are actually taking fills, and if it gets through that, it still has pre-market highs to contend with, so you got to be careful. Baidu is finally starting to work back down, and this is why I was hesitant to take it in the pre-market, and then always, if you hear us say we take smaller positions in the pre-market, It's because you can get run through on no volume, and then when the volume comes in, you want a better position. Now, if I had waited, I'd have an average price here of like a 158.70. Instead, I got a 158.20 average price, and I'm only 20 cents in the money on Baidu. You had this floor at 157, and I think it's worth taking some shares out if I can get it. Otherwise, holding on for dear life. Brendo, what's up, bud?
2 days in a row here for this Canoe Go EV, up 5% again today. It just rejected pretty hard, though, off of $8, which is a huge level over here for Go EV.
And by the way, Go EV, yeah, we'll do that one. But what about Affirm? Bang, right there for Affirm, $1 winner right now on that one, on that 132 break. So we do have that one. I'm just crazy that we didn't reload, or that we didn't load it up down here on the first time when we talked about this. It's right on my sticky note today, but we'll take that to the long side right now. Out of 2/3 of that one, too, right there. We're not going the 10% thing on this one. We're going to take that dollar real early on Affirm. So really happy with the way that one's starting to pair out right now for us on AFRM. Okay, so win does top out there at 85.50. That might be something that's right there. 85.80, 80. Actually, I guess 86 is what we're really looking for there. If it breaks through 86, then we'll have that. That's 60 cents in the money. It's 95 cents in the money right here. And then DATS isn't doing anything right now. We are long DATS on that 11 break. It didn't really do anything. I think about pairing some off right now and then letting the rest run. You know, it does have this break spot back down to 10.50, so that's going to be my out right now on DATS 10.50. We'll take the 50-cent hit. We can afford that on the stock.
New position alert. I did get that Marin. It broke that 870 level, so I stick that one in. I talked about the stop earlier at 840, so no reason to really change my approach on it, even given the way it came in. But I can tell you 450 has broken on Moderna. The previous pre-market low is now gone. I do have to watch this 447 level because I think that's where the bulk of the volume, both right at the open, sort of before the market opened here, and then right at the open, that's where the bulk of the volume stalled out here at 447. If it does give a bounce at that particular level, I'll watch what's going on with the futures. Baidu is continuing to look pretty solid. If it gets down to about like 10, 15 pennies lower, I'm definitely going to want to take this one out. That AEHR, and again, this is one of those, I never really wanted to give this one as much room because I actually think it's these guys are real, and they could be worth a little something. I know they're top heavy on the daily chart, but I'm not fighting this one to the short side as much as I wanted to short the pop. I'm not giving this all the way to the high of day. I think that's reckless. Brendo, what's up, bud?
As I was typing in CRM there, guys, at 52-week highs, it is now at all-time highs for Salesforce, 2.5%. 2 days in a row. You remember yesterday had a big day as well. So CRM going.
Kaboom. CRM.
I just said 2 days in a row we missed that one.
Yeah, CRM, Affirm, all those stocks right now popping like cray. So yeah, good there. Play the momentum on some of these names, that's for sure. And when you see that, you know, we've known about Affirm for a while. Neil, you just mentioned like, oh man, we knew about CRM for a while as well. And yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to take some risks sometimes and play some of these higher price stocks, even on levels that you don't like. I mean, I didn't really love this 132 break, but we'll take that dollar. See, now it's not really doing too much on the high side. So that's getting close to coming out right now. 10.50, we're going to get out of this one. We tried it through 11. Hey man, I mean, you know, we don't put as much risk on these stocks. It's not really my style to trade these as much as the other ones. So will this hurt? Yes, it will, but it's not that bad. We'll see if it breaks through 10.50. If it does, we're going to get out of that one. It's nice because crypto's trying to bounce a little bit, but not so much. Ethereum right now, you can see, well, Cardano's up to 220 again, which is nice. This is Ether, a nice move, 2,700 up to 2,900. So actually, I guess let's call this correctly here. It's 2,770 up to 2,870. So a $100 move there in Ether right off the open.
So I'm gonna do this, and I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth. And like most of my concern here is the ES is about to turn positive. And I did say when Moderna got to 447, I'd have to make a decision on it. And I only got the one entry, and it's a clean move into the downside, but the market teetering on positivity for the ES, and it's just, my decision is to take the profit on a Friday, especially given the fact that I thought this was like a rollover Friday, and we're heading to positive territory. It kind of makes me not want to hold on to a short that's going to give me the $5. I'll just go ahead and take it on Moderna and then hunt for another trade. Like I said, I got that Marin position, and nothing to do, that has nothing to do with Zevo. I'm holding on to Zevo for dear life, and I'm holding on to Baidu as well, which I think are different stories. Now, Marin, I got some shares out here in front of the 9 even on that 870 break, just so you guys can see here on the higher time frame. You're going to be able to look at, not yesterday, go back 2 days ago, you had a 940 level. In the aftermarket yesterday, it slowed down in that range, so 925 to 940 is my next target out, somewhere in that 15-cent range for Marin. If it happens to break that, I'll be looking to cover it all between, around that $10 level, but let's see what happens. It just retook 9 even, so slowing down a little bit. Baidu accelerating to the downside, so, and again, when you hear us say that either we take later positions or we're trying to avoid a stock in the pre-market, this Baidu is a perfect example of that. So sometimes we need to listen to, or I need to listen to myself, because we say it all the time in the pre-market stocks with low volume. Wait, I couldn't wait. I got filled at 158. I should have an average price right in here at 158, a half or closer to 159. But it's starting to get down into that bottom. I just got some out there. But what should have been an initial $1 to $1.50 win is only about 70 cents or so. And if 157 breaks, I'm holding on to the last of my position to see if we can't get down to 155. So the shorts coming in, despite the strong market, got to pick your spots. Brendan.
Wow, this UFAB, crazy stock, very, very thin. Heads up, MDP here up big time this morning. Not a lot of volume, but nice mover here, 30%. This IAC Interactive Corporation confirming they're in talks to buy MDP, guys. So if you're wondering on that one, potential takeover.
All right, a firm's dropping down here, so we're going to average in here, and then that'll be it. We're going to use 128 or so, or 129 area here as our stop. So we'll see if that can come through. But right now, not looking good on the downside for a firm. That's why we took that dollar on a third. We take one more third down here. So let's see where we go now on AFRM. Micron coming back down. Good trade there. We got that 40 again. We should have took it again. But again, with the market ripping, I didn't want to take too much to the short side. We'll check back on our Palantir to see if we're going to get that. It doesn't look like we're getting that right now. So we'll wait on Palantir. Micron, just making sure I don't have any more bids out, which I don't. So I think we crashed down again down to here. I mean, I can't believe we got that 73 there. I thought it was still going to go lower, so we'll wait for that one if it's going to come through. All right, and we did start a new position here on AMC. So right now, we did take that. I was going to see what we were going to do at 40.
Why didn't I get the 40 break?
We were going to wait till 40. It broke. It does break. It goes up to 40. Okay, there goes a firm. A firm, we have to flush ourselves down the toilet. What went from a bang got unbanged real quickly there as we break through that 128 to the downside. So there it is right there. It does crack that level. A firm right back down here now. So we'll see. We got out at 128. 65 there. So right about at these prices. We'll see if it retakes it. I do want to get long again somewhere on a firm, but maybe that run was what that run was, and that's it now. So we'll wait to see on a firm. I think I'll put a bid down here now, 126, 127, see if we can get a little bit more specific with our prices there on AFRM.
Yeah, so there was a bit of a break on Bob at 157. It's holding up at that level. I mean, I'm not going to, whatever the reason I didn't get the 40 break on AMC was obviously my fault. Like I either keystroked it or didn't have the order in when I thought, but it gives you a chance to get it. I'm just going to do it anyways here on a bit of a dip. So let's see what happens with that one. Marin is checking up a little bit, but that's not the thing that's back on my mind. It is Zevo, which I'm like, yeah, I'll hold on to Zevo. Zevo base is off of 6 even, now right back into 7. Now that's a big spike up. I'm gonna reload here. Now I probably, like I said, I would usually have waited for 7 to 725. But I mean, that was when it was holding that 650 level. When it's bouncing off of 6, I tend to think that it might slow down at the same price level, the lower high at 7 even. So I just put the reload, you guys can see it here, I just put the reload in front of 7. So big time move in Zevo. Will I take shares out again in front of 650? That kind of feels like a reasonable thing to do, given that's where it put it. I don't want it putting in a lower high. If it puts in a lower high here, it's probably breaking to the top. So I want to make sure I cover some, rinse and repeat the same action. The only difference is, if it bounces off 6, I'm likely to maybe at least think about getting some out here, getting it all out, on a 660 break, and then now playing off of that 750 only as a high of the day. So successful trades so far on Zevo, but that's how quickly a stock like this, low floater, can reverse on you guys. Yes, that worked out for me, that bounce. But that could very easily, if you panic on it, like you might get stopped out and then sit there and miss out on that flush at 7 even. But because I participated shorting at that price, I knew exactly where I liked it. Those high 80s in front of 7. I can tell you that AMC is starting to come down, but I kind of want to give that one some room. And then Marin, which I was about to get to again, just retook 9 even. I'm holding on for dear life on this thing. I really do think, we hold 9 even, you get into that 9.25 to 950 range, and that's the next out that I want. From there, $10 a possibility. It's been a mover before. Let's see if it can't accomplish the same feat one more time. And there's always one that got away, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's Nike. We both didn't.
I don't even know where
This is a little sad because I think we both were in agreement that regardless of liking Nike long term, they were going to be under pressure today.
Yeah.
I think we both looked at some short opportunities. And then it's just, I don't know, it's at 149 and it got there and I got nothing. I got nothing for it. It never gave a pop to get in. And sometimes I don't like the breakdown. You just got to be able to get shorter, find your way into a position a little bit more aggressively. The 150 break, I guess, was there, but I was trying to play a setup of like a 930 rollover. Clearly, your race to the bottom here on Nike in a strong market. Well, it was strong. We just bounced. Like the ES just bounced off 44.4, which was essentially taking it positive. So rejected going positive on the session. That can't help Nike at all.
So we get in, no. I still like the name, like Neil just mentioned, so we'll wait to see if that falls down. I told you where we're buyers in the mid 140s. 84.60 here was our first one out. We took 70 cents on that. Now we just dipped down, win, coming back in. Look at the futures here. I mean, I'm a bear right now, and I hate holding these longs, but whatever. I think win should probably start to go back up to the upside at some point here, right into some support here. 83, like right down in here. This is a good spot for me to get out of this one. We'll average in one more time, but 83 break. We got to get out, and we'll just say, you know what, we're wrong on that. So, but right now it's going back upside, so it's a good trade for me buying that dip there on win. Let's just see if it can hold out. I'm with you on AMC making moves to the downside right here. It's actually in a spot where we need to buy some more right now on AMC. We did average in. I don't want to average in too much, but this is not, for me anyways, it's not a horrible spot. We'll see if we take a little bit more down there. We'll put another bit. I mean, it looks like we might have missed that bottom, but it's only 10 cents away. So, I mean, I'm not going to worry about 10 cents on AMC here because we're going to be trying to look for 50-cent moves or so. I think we can get right back to today's high. So if we can do that, what's our average price right now? 84. So like I just said, if we can get back, into this area, in the 40 teens, I think that's a spot where we can get some out, and then we'll see if AMC runs the rest of the day into the weekend, which, box office, blah, blah, blah. I think the weekend, could bring some good news for AMC. So we'll watch out for these bottoms. But if you're worried a little bit about the bottom, you have a 20-minute option here as well, where we do have that 37.50, which is the ultimate bottom. So I won't be hanging around that long. I'll be getting out at 39, but you have that 37.50, which is a great reload spot. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey, Sean, Uber is trading on a high volume and up is around also almost 2%. Do you see any opportunities for yourself in Uber?
Okay, I'll look at Uber in a minute. I'm just trying to figure out this win trade.
There's been a lot of questions about naked brands. I'm going to switch to a chart that I do use it. I just don't usually show you like the 60 minutes. So I went 15 to 60 just to show you. This is what 71 looks like. And it was a little bit of a pivot, a turnaround point on the stock. And this is where you can essentially say the battle got waged. I know I threw out 75 there for like a line in the sand at the top, and that's kind of why that high. But 71 certainly is a level. And that's why, and this is apologies because if I had looked at naked from like when I sat down this morning, I probably would have identified 71 as a level, but I took a cursory look at it because people were talking, and I didn't actually use that last 60-minute chart to be able to identify that 71 has some resistance on it. If it breaks, I'd still say 75 is a spot. The volume's good. It's not overwhelming for me though right now, so I'm not in the trade. I'm not necessarily looking to trade it just yet, but it's certainly getting pretty interesting if it double taps that 7 or taps that 71 one more time. Maybe I'll get a look at it. Baidu, for me, it's broken that 157. It's not at the point where I want to be trailing it yet, but I do have a bid in front of I guess yesterday's. I should go back to my 15-minute chart because you got to do that. If it goes back to like if it goes back to a couple of days ago, that support level, there's 156. I'll take some shares out. Then I want to be holding for all the way down here into that 153. So Baidu's starting to work out for me here, and I want to take advantage of that. While this Zevo, and a couple of notes here, there is no news that we are aware of, and if we get some that makes any sense or that comes across the board, Brendan's going to get it to us. But I've seen no news on it. Still up 93% and looking relatively strong here. We talked about the shelf offering they filed for a few weeks ago, so you got to watch out for that. I'm sitting in the short, but at all times I'm going to have a stop. It's at the point now where, if it holds 6 even again, I would consider a long just on a pure momentum base if it were to break 7 even, because you can probably get a free money 20-cent scalp on a 7 even long. And I'm starting to think about that, but I want to at least see it test 6 even again, right? Like until it does that, let's not even think about long. Well, I'm not going to even think about longs. I should never say let's. It's a figure of speech there. AMC, I looked a gift horse in the mouth, I think, because I did the dip by like right around when you were saying there, Sean.
Yeah.
Look, see how fast that loaded? Thank you, Juan. Anyways, the dip buy when it bounced off 39.50. And then usually when I'm in on, I should have had the break. I didn't take the break. I catch it on the way back. And usually when I have this long, I get some out here in front of VWAP so I can start rinse and repeating in front of that 39.50. I didn't do it, so I don't want to add because this is looking rather weak at this point. I almost don't want it to break low a day. This is not the hill I wanted to die on AMC this morning. And one that we talked about because crypto was on the move, we never actually got to since the market opened. Coinbase here.
Oh, you stole my thunder.
Coinbase, yeah. Were you going to go to Coinbase?
Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
go for it.
No, it's nothing. Go say whatever you want
I
to
was
say.
going to say this just double topped at
Yeah.
like 233, and I wanted to fade this and then never actually got over to it. Now you're putting in a lower high. Sometimes the market gives you a second chance when you don't deserve it. But yeah, I'm going to take advantage of it here. Look, the high is exactly at 233, so the fact you can put in a lower high here and risk a clean dollar, I'll go ahead and take that 10 times out of 10 if I can get the fill. I'm sort of sitting here on the offer. Why don't you just give me the 232.24 that I'm sitting at? No, of course you don't want to. I'll give it to like 232. I only want to risk $1 in slippage, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm going to. So you're going short on Coinbase?
Short than 233.
Right. Okay. Good. So yeah, I'm thinking about the same type of thing that I want to get long though when it comes back down into here, 229 and so 229.50, 230 maybe. So I'm going to put a bid down there and see if Coinbase wants to play nice on that one. So we'll wait to a 230 or so bid right around VWAP here. Sorry, about 230.50 I guess, and then we'll see what it does around this 229.50. I got to give these kind of stocks some room here as crypto is starting to make some moves back. Ethereum again tries to test 2,900 and stops there. So Coinbase back to there looks pretty good. Okay, where's my reloaded? This is my favorite one there. So we are. Okay, I'm reloaded. Micron right now, you can see the price we have is 60. So yeah, this is a much bigger spot right now that we just put on. My average price now is 60 as we've averaged this out, which has been a good trade. We're positive on Micron, position pending, but it's starting to rip up to the upside here. We were not expecting this. I didn't think on a downgrade in this market that Micron would get back up here. So I have one more bullet to fire. It's coming out pretty soon, and then we'll take it out on the upside if we do break above, 73.20, like something around here, 74.20. Sorry, then we'll have to get out. But Micron right now, we're reloaded to the downside, and we'll see here where we go. There's one of my last bullets right there at 90. So Micron to the downside. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, it was Micron that had the downgrade, but this one, guys, actually leading to the downside. NVIDIA under pressure here, 2.5% heading southbound, just broke 220 there and continues. So back into some support levels here for NVIDIA.
Yeah. You know what? These are a dip buy. There's got to be a dip buy in NVIDIA. Like, I haven't looked at NVIDIA today. You're talking 218 right now. Of course, not split adjusted, but I want my 15-minute regardless. Yeah, you're going to see this one live. Yesterday's close. Ooh. Okay, yeah, I probably got to sit this one out. I think 215 to like 217. It would have to get pretty. Yeah, this market might not be weak enough just yet to get an area that I would like on NVIDIA. I was kind of hoping when you said it was down, I was sort of immediately looking for something that would be actionable.
A lot lower?
I got really, yeah, well, I thought it'd be more than, it's 2% now, but I kind of thought we'd be well below that 220 level. MRIN, someone just said good call, Neil. Yeah, but I had a target range for an out, and it got to 920. Usually I take out in front of the quarters, and this time I sort of said 925 to 950 for the next out, and I looked that gift horse in the mouth and missed out on an opportunity. If it does bounce off VWAP, that's not where I want it. If it does bounce off VWAP, I want something out here in front of that high, just to make sure that I'm taking some more profit on this move. I know what can happen to this stock if this starts to exhaust itself, right? And I don't want that to happen here. 925 was at least part of the range I thought there'd be a resistance, so I want to take advantage of it in some way. It looks like holding on to more of that Baidu might have been the wrong, it's a strong market, might have been the wrong call. I mean, I'm sitting on the bid in front of 156. It did get to like 156.50. But I like the fact that we're bouncing here, and where we're sitting in the pre-market, 57 to 157.50, where I took my first out, that's actually now held up as resistance. So that's a pretty good sign for this short position. So I'm just going to hold for it. This is kind of that situation where nothing about, except for the entry that I took in the pre-market, which was sloppy on Baidu, nothing about it is said that we're wrong about where Baidu is going, especially the fact that it's going down in a market that's headed to the upside, at least trying to anyways. I just got that Coinbase. I wanted to fade it off that 233 level. It's given me that chance now, so here's the second opportunity. Clearly, if you get it the first time, 100%, yeah, you take that trade usually the first or second time, and it's going to be the better win. And that gave you like a $2 fade, but I wasn't in it, so it is what it is. I now have it here. I'll give it $1 worth of risk. I'll definitely trim some in front of VWAP, take a buck 20, because the third time, more eyeballs on that resistance level. You got to anticipate that, so there's probably some buyers that'll be there on the way down covering shorts because it's already worked a couple of times here. So I'm not going to dig a hole. I'm not going to average in, and I'm going to take more shallow profit on this trade because I didn't get it the first time.
You know what happens when you hit this button?
Which one?
There it comes.
Can't see. Oh, AMC.
Yeah, let's go AMC. Let's go for a little bit of a ride here. So we're only a dime in the money, but we're trying to get it going. We did pick that up at 39.50. We talked about those levels. So that gave me the opportunity to get out right now for a profit. Our average price 39.70. And now it's 39.62. But we take some profit out there right as it rips right back to VWAP. So we'll get that going right now with that. And we'll also do, we have another one there for this that tends to work pretty good. It's a little bit early to be doing any of this kind of stuff, but hopefully this will rally some of the apes, and we'll get going to the upside right now as we'll nod some heads and see what's going on. I do want to quickly, though, if you're enjoying the show, which we are every single day, bringing it to you, please hit the like button. There's only right now 1,000 likes, over 6,000 people watching, so let's see if we can get that going right now, 987. If Miss V is ready, you tend to listen to her a little bit better than I do, and we're trying to get Valeria on camera more, so this is a great opportunity. Let's hit the likes. If we get to 1,500, then it'll be the Valeria show, so let's go. Let's see if we can get that up to 1,500, Valeria. What say you? Ms. V, let's get some likes going over there. There she is. Hello.
Hey guys, as Sean said, please support, smash the like button. Actually, we're already at 1,200. So we have 5,000 viewers, and we would really appreciate if you support. Smash the like button. Back to you guys.
We'll take it. Thank you, Miss V there. Yeah, sometimes she's so busy moderating the chat that it is very, very hard for her to see everything. So, hey, man, the chat liked it. So there you go. So,
that was awesome.
Yeah, if I know at least I'm here for the community.
It's live, man. Like
Yeah,
that's the most fun thing about it. Like this is live.
See, before when she sat beside me, we could look at each other and know.
You say she's one in the chat. I think she's shorting Tesla. Because
I think she's looking at some charts. I think she's analyzing some stuff
she's
there.
Short Tesla pre-market every single day. And that might be in trouble right now.
Realistically, she's probably thinking about the weekend, but we'll see as it's Friday and we're having a good amount of fun here. So let's continue the party here with AMC. I told you that we're going to try to get out now around 40 here. So if we can get some more bump up here, 20-cent winner for me on AMC. I like it. Yeah, we got to start taking some of this out. We are over there at the big screen with Happening Now and Brendan. Brendan?
What?
You don't have to call him more than once, do you? What's up, Brendo?
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look here at North American markets. A bit of a muted session, which is fine after the past couple of days. We are negative here for the NASDAQ, 0.4, 0.34 to the downside for tech stocks. The Russell as well, 0.6 in negative territory, but the Dow and S&P trying to hold on to gains. The TSX here in Toronto, worth noting as well, started out higher, has since gone negative. A few things we were talking about if you joined us in the pre-market. Nike, yeah, did get a flush there off of the open, but trying to find some levels, 148, 149. Look at the volume here versus yesterday. Massive, massive volume for Nike so far. Trying to find some support around 149, 150, we'll call it, for Nike. Alibaba, not so much. Consolidating at day lows, currently down 3.3 now, guys, for Baba. Back over to you.
Yeah, puke.
Speaking of Baba, I'm trying to reload on Baidu as we speak around that 158 level, the original entry point. We'll see what we can do with that one. Just checking back in on some positions here. Yeah, we're live, man. Like, I love live. It's not TV, man. We're not TV, but we're definitely live every single day, so it's exciting. I've pulled up that Tesla trend. I'll get to that one in a second, but Zevo is holding out above that 6 even level, so a bit of a higher low being put in here. I'm tightening it up. Like if it puts in that higher low and now breaks 7, I'm not going to do that little long scalp, but I'll definitely cover this thing if 7 even wants to break here. Otherwise, I'm holding for even lower. If it takes out this 570, I think it's headed down to $5, maybe even lower than that. So let's see what happens with Zevo. I just tried to reload on Baidu. I never actually got it. So I'll try to get that in front of 158. Hopefully that's going to be possible. I was able to get that Marin fill, so thank goodness there. It did put in another lower high off of 925 at 915. We got it. It was at 870 break that we like. Now I can hold on to this bad boy. Like if it breaks 925, I think we can head to 10 even. We're more comfortable to be able to hang on to this. I looked to give Torsten Mouth and AMC. I did not get any shares out there when it just retested VWAP. I hope you did, Sean. Yeah, that's, again, like I said, I should have gotten some out there and just trimmed the position so I could reload. If it goes a third time, then I've gotten lucky. But I need to cover some of this, at least around this 75 area where I have my average price, and then work a price down into 39.50. That makes a heck of a lot more sense to me instead of just holding this thing the whole time.
I want to give a big thank you to, yeah, I didn't get any. I mean, I got some out on view up the first time, but I didn't get it when it retested a couple times. Thank you so much, Tamushe. Okay, we'll go with that one. And then thank you so much, Trina, as well, for becoming members. I mean, it means a lot to the show. And I hope that, you're having some fun with us here on a Friday as I'm kind of just holding some of my trades here. I'm not doing a whole hell of a lot. AMC, we still have that win position right now. We bought it. We got out right there again. It's been nice. Buy and out. Now we're holding right now on win. So we'll see where that one wants to go. I've been hating on Neo because of the Chinese rhetoric. And it's just one of those names. Lucid, I see down to 24.50. That might be a level 2. We can look at Lucid. Let's actually check out Lucid right now. We saw that yesterday. These were some of the dump down spots here. Yeah, like, wow. Okay, so 25 and change. Lucid just basically straight to the downside right now on a 1 minute chart. So let's look to see here again. We may not have a trade. This is a 20-minute chart. We're right back into this area of concern for me. So I think a 24, I mean, if this breaks, I want to go short Lucid. So 24.25 short Lucid. I'm going to go get some shortable shares as I don't think. Let me just test it with 100 shares here. No, we don't have shortable shares, so I'm going to have to get some for Lucid right now. So it's on hard to borrow. So 24.25. I'm going to go find out how much this is and get back to you, but I got to get it before it breaks.
Yeah, and this, just going back to this UFAB, the one I told you got run over in the pre-market on, it's holding this top really, really well. 4 to 410 here. You can see like several tests, and it just absolutely flushed a few times, but it keeps gearing on up. And the longer it does this, if it holds anywhere around this 65 to 70 level, ends up being the bottom, and then it makes a test at 410, fire me up for a breakout long on this thing. So I'm going to go make sure I get an order in just in case it does. If it breaks 360, let's call it, I'll cancel the order. I'll no longer like that breakout, and then reassess if it goes up there again. But I'm firing up that long if I can get it on UFAB. And then Marin did make its move. It broke the high of the day. Then got to 940, flushed back in, is now right back at that 925. So great look here. Once it breaks 950, because I'm looking to get out in front of 10. Once it breaks 950, I'm gonna work a stop or trailing stop into the last of this trade. So good move here on Marin. I always want to say Marin, but Marin. And then this Zevo, it just continues to barcode sideways, and I got the same short twice. Much better the first time because it usually is. And it's really starting to worry me here that it could break 7 even. I can do this for a trade today as good as it's been so far. Coinbase did, Coinbase did break that. Yeah, Coinbase is on the NASDAQ, Neil.
Yep.
Not .nf. I don't know what .nf is. But Coinbase does break that 233, so I'm out of it. Gone, one and done for me. This is one of those situations where if I take the fade at 930 off of that high, I would have worked at least the first time, and the second time, the third time it's not going to, which sometimes that's the case, right? And a lot of times sometimes you'll step away from it. If you like a level and you miss it twice, you don't have to have it the third time through. I decided I wanted to take it, so we'll take the hit on that. And one more, because I wanted to check back in Moderna. Yes, the president is talking about it. And again, look, I took this off too early, but I said I had to come to a decision at 447. And at that particular moment, the market was about to turn green on the ES, and I kind of used that as an excuse to get out at 447. So there it is. It goes another $7 to the downside. I like that short, and I got it, but you leave some on the table. And every now and then, your gut reaction is going to be sort of wrong when you're reassessing the trade mid-moment. I'm looking at the futures and basing it out. And maybe I shouldn't have cared too much about what the futures were doing in that moment, but that was the decision I made, and that was my reasoning at the time. Clearly, it's a winning trade, but that was wrong for me to cover it a little bit too early. I'm trying not to do that with Baidu. I'm trying to hold on to Marin, which just took 960. So sometimes you can hang on, and other times, hey, you get wicked out or get stopped out or get trailed out. It's going to happen to you. You never make the perfect trade, but you always get perfectly accurate information when you go to Brennan.
Or none at all in this case. Pieris Pharmaceuticals, PIRS, one that has popped up in the past over the past week or so. Back to recent highs here for this one. PIRS on volume, guys.
I think we got some information there. I mean, that was
or not at all. Wow.
Or not at all. Sometimes you get some information, and sometimes you get nothing. Okay, so AMC, we did reload. So right there, we'll do this one. There's Ms. V. So yeah, we'll do that reload right there. Okay, so AMC back down to the, I mean, that's not the reload thing, that's just Ms. V. We'll go to the downside here. We still are waiting for some 39s to break, and then we'll assess this at 38. The reason why, you've seen some dip down to 37 and change before. So, you know, let's not hit the panic button on AMC. We still have some more downside here, but if we do break below 39, I just got to make sure that I do have that order out. Yes, I do. So we'll get out a little bit if we do break below that 39, right? So let's just, you know, try to hold it out for a little bit more. We have our plan of action. I already told you I'd like to get out in the 80s there again one more time, and the risk reward's not going to make any sense on this one. So I mean, I'm really expecting this, but I do have another piece to get out if we get back up here. So you know, that's just what it's going to be. I'm willing to lose about $1 on this trade, so therefore we're going to try to make $1. But first things first, it has to go. So and if it doesn't, we want to be responsible and get out if it does break too much below 39 bucks, which is still a ways to go now. So nothing to worry on that one. What else do we want to talk about here? Apple's at 146. That's looking to crack as well. My Lucid, we did pay for the shorts. It's sub a penny per share. So no problems there. Even Arun may pay for these shorts as they're basically free to short Lucid. So I guess the broker just wants us to basically pay. What a surprise. Brokers always make money. So down here, 24, I mean, if we get that break of 24.50, sorry, 24.25, we will take that trade. Look, I mean, this Micron right now, it came close to tipping me out. We talked about where we would get out of this one, 74.25. It came very, very close there. I did not reload. I'm well invested in this name right now. So, you know, these two are the big ones. That's where my average price is 70 right now. So we'll have to have this come back down here. That's my average price after all of this. So I'm still holding Micron. We may have made a top there. I'm not like a huge supporter of this. I just can't believe we're back up to flat right now, considering the NASDAQ is down. This is a NASDAQ name, and you know, they got that downgrade. So it hasn't been looking great on the daily, on the 20-minute chart. It looks fine, but on the daily chart, you could see here it's just hovering right around this 50 period, which is 74, which is right where we're at right now. So I am expecting a downside move for Micron. So I'm going to hold that until I'm wrong.
And speaking of, we're going to go with this one. Thank you very much, Marin. And this was a pure structure play. They didn't actually have pre-market volume on Marin, but the key was the run that it made. This is why I was on the watch list. The run that it made in the after hour. You guys remember, sorry, power hour. You guys remember this if you were watching the show yesterday. Marin makes that power move into the upside, goes right into the range here in the 22nd. When it flushed, this was the support bottom right here, 840 to 860. Sorry, 870, I should say, 840 to 870. Once it broke, again, you had the top here and the flushes from that price. You get the break right into the middle of that cluster here at the close, and then right into the top of that range at about 975. That's why I said shoot in front of 10. The second it stalled out, it broke 75, got to like halfway to 10 even, then came right back, and I'm like, I'll just get out at 975. That's right around our target. So that trade structure worked out perfectly. Sometimes you get the first or second leg, not always the third. But you play. I take some out early just in case it doesn't work all the way. This time it gave you every single part of the move on Marin. Brendan, again?
Market just went positive, guys. Part of that has to do with some of the travel names having a good day once again. So here we go. CCL 2 days in a row back in positive territory, 2.5% here, almost just taking out day highs once again.
You know, we should have bought. We should have bought some CCL. We should have bought some LUV. We should have bought some airlines. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Didn't.
Not Boeing.
Yeah, or you can buy Boeing, I think, at this point as well. Okay, so we did get back into DATs here after taking that hit early on when it broke 11, and we got out there at 50s or 40s, it looks like. So that was about a 40 or 50 cent hit. We'll average in right now into this, not average in, we're taking a new position right now on DATs, trying to play off this 960 bottom. We'll see. I mean, it has those runs. We just need volume to come back in. We'll get some out at VWAP, you know, to get some of that money back that we lost, and then we'll see if it retakes 11. So I'm into DATs right now, and we'll see what's good with that name, hopefully coming back up to the upside. Looks like AMC's trying to bounce. I was looking at that RWLK. There's a lot of people talking about this.
That one?
Also, not really, also on the chat, but look where it did again. We always talk about looking to see where the move went to yesterday, 250. That's the stopping spot there today. You're not down that far from there, 230, but watch out for 250 here on RWLK, especially especially on a 20-minute chart, you could see, look at this, man, we're really, really top heavy at these levels. So maybe it does want to go at some point through this level. So watch out for RWLK here. You still do have some support back at 2. So whether or not this moves or not, it's done 20 million shares, but it's in a range here that I think you could probably, for a risk reward, if you like the long right now, you have 260 probably where we go to, as long as we take out that 250, then you can worry about it up here. And then if you break that, then it's off to the races on RWLK, and then your downside is about $2. So 30 cents to the downside. I think you have at least that plus more on the upside. So let's see if RWLK can curl up here and start to make a move.
And this is one that wasn't necessarily on my radar, but you guys kept talking about Naked Brands, and it does eventually break that 71. And look, 1, 2, and third time, you get a bit of a breakout. And what level does it go to? Oh, look at that, 75. That's entirely 100% shocking. A penny stock following levels like that never ever happens. Most of the reason why that happens is because everyone's looking at the same charts, and day traders will create the resistance by shoving orders in when it gets to that high, then shorting it like 94, or then getting stopped out when it goes through 71. Now, I wasn't short in front of 71, so I didn't get stopped out there, but certainly that would have been possible. AMC, I'm just going to take it out. I mean, I got one winner on it on a bit of a dip buy, but I'm not going to fight this stock too much. If it wants to go further down, maybe this is worth making a stand at 39, but it just broke that 39.40, so I'm going to cover it and do this. No diamond hands for me. My stock, you can probably guess at this. I am not letting Naked Brands go past 75. You know, I might give it like a few tenths or above that level, but if it catches any kind of a bid there, I'm just going to get right out. I might let other people's stops break because I don't see a gigantic offer there, but Naked Brands, I'm in short off of that level. It's like a 73 and a third. This is my average price. I can tell you Baidu is starting to round back down to the bottom here. It did put in, look, it's broken 157 again. So, you know, having broken that pre-market low and stalling at 156.50, if it comes down to this price, I never got that reload. It went right to my order in front of 158 and missed. If it does try to put in a higher low, I'll probably try to take something out in the 156.70 range. So I'd go ahead and do this, put that bid in and cancel the one in front, below that low of the day. And then we can hold. Like if it breaks that low, I can then hold on. Don't need to have something just in front of a previous bottom. If it takes out this low, there's no point having a bid 20 or 30 cents lower. It's likely to drop at least $1. Brendo.
Worth noting, guys, on that Carnival I just showed you, there was an update on Q3 from them saying bookings for the second half, in fact, of 22 were ahead of pre-pandemic levels. So that's pretty positive for Carnival.
Yeah, yep. I mean, and that's why we're holding on to that win as long as we can here, because I believe that Vegas is back. I don't believe it. It is back. Those of you that live in Vegas or have been there recently, put it in the chat. I mean, you guys know that this is what the news is there in Vegas has been big time with that. So we just have to worry about Macau, which is why we go long on win. So, okay, we took a little bit of revenge there on a firm. We did get that long rate where we wanted it here, 126.70 or so into those. And then we took it out there into that bid. We took it out there for 46 cents almost right away, almost as soon as we got it. It hit us. We had to let it go. It didn't even go against us. It hit us and then ripped right up to that level right here. I didn't even notice this level, but I just took the offer because it was 50 cents in the money. And we did already. We had a nice one on a firm there, but then we averaged, we averaged in, I guess. And then we got out when that broke, and then we were waiting for this bid. So we take that affirm bid there. Now we can hold it. We do have this bottom I'm going to use as my out, 125.50 or so. And if you zoom this back out, it's just right here. I mean, it's going to, I don't know, if we break it, we break it. We've already tested it once, so one more test for me there. And I talked about having a plan when this happens. That's the plan. Like one more test down there. If it breaks, then we're going to be out of there. So 125, let's call it 125.75 or so, and we'll get out of a firm. But right now, it's trying to rock and roll. We are averaging in now. We missed that average on AMC. It's going to be closer to 39, so we're trying to hold that one as well. And then I'm very, very close to that tipping spot on Micron. I just wish I had the same amount of shares on Win that I do on Micron, because when we only took this bid and we should have loaded it up. But again, when a stock falls like this, it's hard to be confident in that play. But that's why we get it out on VWAP rate when it bounces off our bid. And now we're looking to take out more here on there we go. Let's go Win here. Now 80 cents in the money, starting to go. Let's see if we can retake highs here on Win Resorts and Casinos. That was a call for Brendan, I believe.
I think so.
DMY Technologies, yeah, I was thinking this is a SPAC, but yeah, it is a SPAC, guys. DMY Technologies, which is taking this IonQ public. So they're just announcing here, IonQ teaming up with GE Research. This is a quantum computing company. So this DMYI, which again is a SPAC, sitting here at $10, just ripped up 50 cents.
All right.
And I haven't done this in a while. Oh my goodness, I'm not even ready for. There he goes. There it is. If you ever come, see, we go from Brendan to getting a winner, and this is actually Tom. I just got those shares out in front of that low on Baidu, so again, getting like 156.70. Obviously my average price could have been better. That's only $1.50, and it should be over $2 if I didn't get that lazy, sloppy pre-market fill. Again, like this is no volume, and I'm taking a fill here and getting run through. And again, if you wait till the open, you get a much better average price. I can tell you that I did get into that Naked Brands. We'll get into that one in a quick little second. But Zevo, this is finally making another press at that 6 even level. Look what happened here. So I love the fact this is a lower high at 675. If it can finally take out that low, remember I think this thing could head easily down to $5. And yes, you're right. I put in the chat when you guys when Vegas came up. And Sean knows this. It's not just that I haven't been to Vegas. It's also that it's a sad story that I haven't been to Vegas. It's a bit depressing, so it kind of sucks. Long story short, I paid for a trip to Vegas, so I didn't actually go on, which is not a lot of fun. So one day I'm going to Vegas. Although Tyrone, if the Bills play the Raiders in the AFC Championship game and it's on the road in Vegas,
You should just go to Vegas.
I would be very surprised because if the Bills play in the AFC Championship, they're doing so at home, not in Vegas. I'm just throwing that out there.
Maybe. I don't think Vegas is going to host a home game anyways.
David
That would
Carr?
be the more David Carr. Yeah, that would be the more concern for me there. But yeah, they're playing really nice
He's
right
playing
now.
well.
We did hold on. Yeah. Anyways, I mean, I think you just go to Vegas just to see any NFL game. I think would be great experience. I don't know what tickets go for there. Let us know if you guys know what tickets are like at Allegiant Stadium there. Beautiful new pad there. So okay, Micron, we're getting very, very close, man. We're a couple pennies away right now from getting stopped out of this one. I can't do anything else but like throw my arms up for this. A downgrade, the chart doesn't look nice. Micron just like hold my beer while I get roasted on this short. So, okay, that's what happened. So if you want to go upside, we'll knock this out and get out of here soon. If it takes out just a couple more pennies, 74.30, we're out of here on that. And it's just, I mean, it's really close right now. Might as well just punch myself out. It looks like it's going to take it. It's super strong today. I didn't think this would happen. Here we go. So one more penny, we're going to be out. We'll hold a small bit of it for 75.50, but the majority is going to come out there for the biggest loser for me today by far right here on that one as it's going to break. I don't even want to watch it break, but it's going to break, so we're going to get out of that one. DATS right now. We have an order at VWAP. It looks like it got close to that around 1050, but it only stopped at 1042. So we're going to have to wait to see where we go with DATS right now. But I'm holding this one a little bit to the backside there. And I want to hold this just in case it goes. What's up, Nicole Harris? Thank you for your super chat there. CHPT. It's killing my long-term portfolio. Okay, that's Checkpoint or ChargePoint. We'll check out that in a minute for you, CHPT. I know they had a good report a couple weeks ago, so we'll check out ChargePoint for you in a minute there, Nicole Harris. Right now, DATS, just looking at that as well. We did get out of some Affirm AMC when it did come back to the upside. That was a flat trade right there. So you can see 39.58 is where we're at on AMC. So the diamond hands so far paying off, but it doesn't pay off unless you get out for winners. So we'll wait to see where that goes from here. Micron busts me out, so that's a long story short on that one. And now, it's been a busy day, man. I didn't think it would be this busy on a Friday for us, but it has been. Over 78 fills for me. Let's go over to the big screen with Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, a lot of activity in the pre-market when it comes to small caps, but ends up being kind of quiet overall in small cap world so far today. CAPR was the one we were talking about just before the open there. I mentioned 620 and then 650, never even comes close. Give you a shot versus 6 as well. It gets all the way down to about 520. Volume already completely gone on CAPR if you're still looking at that. The other one I was looking at, VTBT, same story. It was pretty quiet overall. I was just using this high from aftermarket yesterday. Comes all the way back down to about 180. Still okay volume, but it's very, very liquid. So you got to be patient with it. It does take a while to do anything. The other one to talk about, ONTX. Big mover yesterday, if you remember. They came out aftermarket, said it was a huge offering. They priced it this morning way down here at 450. So that was just versus 450. But another one just kind of grinding along at day lows. Guys, back over to you.
So, and and again, I'm going to come to, we'll get to some of the trades here. We had a super chat about ChargePoint, and look, I'm not going to be happy to look at a chart like this. I've said and held bags before, but you're obviously going to see this 19 level stand out, right? Like it's just multiple times it's tested. We're getting pretty close there. It just broke 20, broke 20 level here today, and that's a momentum break to the downside. And it just, I don't know anybody else's, what your time horizons are, what your risk parameters are, how much you have in it, how much you can risk. All I can say is it would be hard for me to look at this and not cover it if 19 broke from a pure momentum standpoint. Like I look at this and say to myself, I can't see any way that I would not be shorting this thing if it broke 19 even. It's going to stand out. It's just going to stand out that way. And I was asking myself, when this came up, I was saying like, okay, well, fuel cell's been going, and I like plug. It had started to get off the shine a little bit, and there's just so many names in the space, and I know it's been getting crowded here. That have been looking at least okay in the last few weeks to have this breaking downside. And I for some reason, I thought there was news on this recently, but nothing comes to mind here. Maybe Brendan's got something on ChargePoint, but 19 breaks, that's a great place to be thinking about where to get out. Sometimes you just got to take the pain, and if it's not, sometimes it can be a partial out. Like you don't have to take it all. Maybe you want to decide how much you want to hold a bag on, but 19 even is going to be a momentum break. The positive side of this would be, if you make this break of 20 even and then hold that low, at least you might build some momentum and a bit of a firm bottom that no one wants to sell it below here. It's kind of done and it's moved to the downside. So, hopefully that 19 holds up for you there. Certainly for me, it's going to be where a lot of people would be looking for momentum short on a 19 break, and we're getting real close. Like that could happen any day now. There is a new position that I did put on, oddly enough, and this is completely coincidental, but it is Go EV, which has been going in the other direction. Go EV has been going in the other direction.
Like
going to the upside. That's a bad pun, but
Not really.
we work with what we can here, material we got. I mean, obviously, if you had the first dip buy, fantastic.
What you working with?
If you had the second dip buy, fantastic. If you had anything else other than where I just got it now off of 8 even in VWAP, well, it's been great for you. Continuing against strong run, up 9%, so I'll go from where I got into it to work out to the higher time frame. It needs to break 8.25. 830 is a high, but if you look at this, man, like if it gets up here, you got some chop to the upside, but if you just sort of throw out the breakdown, right? Just sort of throw out this breakdown, everything to the left of that chart, and do yourself this. I don't know, it's kind of lazy, and like you go this way, break, hold a higher low, and then setting up for a bit of a break. It's not to say this is going to go or not going to go parabolic here today, but sometimes it actually needs to consolidate a little bit. So I'm going to have to think about scalping this more than anything else on Go EV. So as it comes to the upside, I'm going to try and take some out from 815 to 820, some out in front of that high. It's because it feels like it might have to consolidate here, not just today, but maybe even for a couple of days before it really starts to go. So I'm not going to sit here and say this one's going absolutely parabolic. The momentum is fantastic. I just see lots of reasons why it might be a short scalp trade, at least for now. That Naked Brands that we got into, I did take some of it out. I got about half of it out here in front of VWAP because that's what I do. And then if it comes up again, I'll try to get a better price in front of that 75 level. So I got 73 1/3 last time. Maybe something closer to 74 is what I'd shoot for. I do have a bid around 70 that never filled. And then I'll probably start throwing some in the 69 range here. And then, hey, all kinds of reason if it does break down, you could head down to 65. That's what I'm hoping for. So the only long I got is Go EV because I got stopped out of AMC, which was a loser. But now Naked Brands to the short side. Baidu, which is back to 157. I could play for a reload in that one as well. And then Zevo, which is in the money 75 cents, but it's got a hard floor at 6 that it cannot seem to break. I'm telling you, someone just keeps on stepping up and buying this thing in front of that price. Still feel like it could fall like an absolute rock if 6 goes.
Mr. Rock is in the building. Okay, so as we were gone there, things got a lot better for me, so that was good. Affirm now $1 in the money. It just touched out to here at 128 and fell. We have an offer now in this area, 128.30 or 40. We should have got a little bit less greedy there and maybe took some of that. So out when it was at 128, but we're gonna wait right around here, 128.40. See if we really can't get a nice little winner there. Wow, man, selling some of that crypto today. It's only 10%, but it's bouncing around. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about crypto because it's not moving a whole hell of a lot, but we're still trying to top out here at 29 right now for Ethereum. So Ethereum starts the day at 27. I mean, how low did we even go here on that, probably that fake China story there, 27.31 to the bottom, up to 2,900. I mean, I think basically, China's had a negative stance on cryptocurrency their whole freaking life. So I don't know what that's going to stand for or not. What's up, Eric Salazar? Thank you so much. I mean, thank you for the $20 super chat. That means a hell of a lot to us. If they could all be 20, that would be great. Guys, can you look at Sava and DATS for us traders in Texas? Also, go USF there. Beat BYU. So we are definitely now into
JPP.
College. Yes, we are definitely, Pierre
You know who
Paul.
else? MVS went there. Green Bay guy.
Exactly. That's Fresno State, though.
No, he went to.
Who are you talking about? Marquez Van Scanlon? Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking of Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
but,
he went to UCF. Yeah.
Okay, so right there, go for everything college, and we love our football here. I'm more of an NFL guy. Neil's a little bit more college than me, but okay, so DATS, we'll look at that, and then what was the other name
It's
there?
Sava.
Sava, okay. So Sava's a crazy one. All right, we're in DATS right now, DAT chat, and again, so, I like this play here. We talked about this 950 as a possible area of concern for us. We went all the way, dipped down to that 950, and then we dipped down here to 950 before and resisted it both times, right? So as we're looking here at DATS, you can see here upside. I think we have protection here. It's been now 2 days in a row where we've held out at this 950 area. So if you are thinking that something's coming, more tweets are coming, this is going to get pumped up a little bit, I think you do have a chance here to hold out for that. That's what I'm doing. We're backloaded up back into DATS, and this 970 area is something that I think you can hold out for. If you bring it even lower, watch out for this break right here, 950. It's actually 936, but I like a 950 hold on DAT chat. So if you like DAT there, I like it right now, and that's why I'm holding on to this one. We did get out of half for VWAP, but you can see we bought it twice there, so we have a little bit more room to the upside. I'm holding out for that afternoon pump on DAT chat.
How about that? And I'm only saying that because someone suggested for Halloween that Miss V should dress up as the Cash Me Outside? No, the Cash Me Outside girl.
Cash Me
whatever. I don't know.
I don't know what her name is.
Clue.
I don't know.
Take it into consideration.
Bad Baby or something.
Someone Cassava Sciences, we'll get to it. Okay, so if you were watching the show yesterday, you know that the morning show went well, and I was having a fantastic day, and then decided to blow absolutely everything on two stocks, and one of them was Cassava Sciences.
Never a good idea.
Cassava it's been breaking. I just can't bring myself to go long after the disaster. 2 days ago, I went long the day it didn't want to go up.
Baby.
But here we go. 55 breakout. It is now at that lower high, that 65 area. I just said I'm going to get myself into trouble with Cassava Sciences because look what happens. It spikes up, gets right into that 65, and then makes a bit of a reversal. And then if you're going to look at the top end of the range, so the high yesterday, the 62.5, right? The top end of the range, usually this is where I'd be shorting it with a stop at that 65. Whatever my instinct is going to be is to say that Sava is going to be stronger than that because I really, really liked the 50 dip, based on the price action back on the 21st. I like that dip here, and then it was a day too early, and then you can see it break out the second day when I was shorting it. So if it breaks 65, that's when I'm going to actually look at this thing because I kind of feel like everyone and their mother wants to short this thing in front of $70. And this is a high-risk stock. If you're shooting the moon on this thing, fair enough because it could absolutely be a runner. They could be a winner. Just know that your downside on Sava, if you long here for the long term, it ain't 40. It ain't 40. It might be 30, but it could definitely be in the teens. And that's the harsh reality for Cassava Sciences. You've seen what happens. It's still more than cut in half from the highs. It's still more than cut in half from the lower high that it put in at 112. Okay, it's actually exactly cut in half from the lower high that it put in. So it has a ways of a way to go. I would look for a short in front of 70 today. A lot of times I'd be short right now in front of 65, but I was so dead wrong about it yesterday that I'm going to try to be very cautious with it today.
You might have heard me in the background there, and what a great move. I've been putting it there on the chat there. What a great move for AMC. So apes remain supreme here today as we'll spin this again. If you're long AMC today, you've had, it's just straight to the upside there. We did protect that 39. I was bidding 39.10. It only goes down to 39 quarters, but look at this ripper. We're waiting in 40 teens like we talked about. That was initial target, but because it dipped a little too far, we were able to get more shares down here. So we have emptied it out on the way back up here. Was very concerned about this closing area here of 40. So that's why we're out there at 83. We're out there at 94. And now we're trying to get out here in the teens and then to hold about 20% left for the upside move there. We still got 30% on board right now. Maybe even a little bit more of that on AMC. Brendo, kill him with kindness.
All right, guys. 10:30 coming up in about 15 minutes. We have another great guest for you. Cybin Networks back with us once again. Doug Drysdale, CEO, going to give us an update on their work continuing. Not the first time he's been on the show, but happy to have Doug back with us, coming up again in about 15 minutes. Stick around for that. In the meantime, let's get a check of how things in Europe are shaping up on a Friday. Miss V, what's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are mostly negative. AstraZeneca, primarily listed in London, is up more than 3% after saying its cancer drug met main goal in a late-stage trial. Back to you.
Yeah, we're trying, guys, trying to wrap up the week positively for the market. Lots of time left, though.
I need to get give myself some green because I never wear green. You know what? I'll just wear Michigan State green one day because that's the best way to do it. I'll run through a few things here. Go EV. I did scalp, but like I said, I'm going to scalp some out. I know it's got more potential, but I'm taking some out in front of the high of the day. We gave the reasons a little bit before. I also want to get to Zevo. Fair enough, that's fine. It's in the money. But that Naked Brands finally broke down. So it broke VWAP. I said I had a bid in front of 70. I did get that fill, and I got some bids in front of that 68. Well, I put some in the last time I mentioned the stock here. I put some bids in front of that 68 level. So that continues its flush off the levels. We showed you on the 60-minute. Just bringing it back a little bit further instead of the 15, and we got the levels there. That's why we're looking at that 75 and then shorting when it rejected there. So all systems a go. We're going to hang on to Baidu hopefully all day. We're going to hang on to Zevo hopefully all day.
The Justice Department, this is a new story right now. No, it's fine. It has to do with Canada here. That Huawei, they've got an agreement now. She's going to be extradited. So that's great. That's great for China. That's great for Chinese relations, I feel like. I don't know if you're still in Alibaba or not, but I think that's a good move there.
It's Baidu on it.
She's going to be extradited now, and they've been waiting for that. Meng Wang, I believe her name, or Meng Wang Zhu, extradited, has got an agreement for an exit from Canada. So we'll see there what that means for relations with China. I think that's probably a good thing that is going to happen right now. We are going to, did I miss? Okay, no. So right now, Micron can basically go to hell. Pardon my French, but it can and it will, because it goes up to 74.50. I almost put an offer there to hit that, and I didn't, to go to the downside there, and I didn't. So now I'm going to wait for this break right here. I thought I had an offer to go short on this, and I do. Okay, so 74.20 break. We want to go short on MU, but if it takes out 50, we're gone. But if it breaks through right here, I don't know why that didn't. Oh, because it didn't. This wick must have not happened because I had the order in. Right there, 74.20 is what we're looking for a break. Very lucky that it didn't break there because we'd be short, and it's going back to the upside. So sometimes there, you make the call and you get saved by that right there. So we'll watch out. I think that's a great story. Those of you that may not know, but they've been battling, and there's also two Canadians, both named Michael, that are right now being watched by the Chinese government. So hopefully they can be released as well for their family. Anyways,
that's why we're going to call it. Like, it's positive because I think that's going to happen, right?
A firm right there as we fire off the hot dogs. I mean, look at that. That's what honestly. I can sit here and complain a lot, as you know, and ask my wife about that as well. But I know, Rob, more to come on that for you, buddy. He's just getting married
Welcome
right
to the
now.
club, buddy.
So yeah, congratulations to Rob. That's where he was. And anyways, good move, Rob, for sure. But anyways, where was I? Okay, so sometimes I'll complain about getting wicked out, right? And you make the bottom wick, you do something like that. But often enough, we don't consider how lucky we are to get that fill right there, 128.35. Like, I got it, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I'm out of a firm. I actually thought we got tipped down to the downside there, which doesn't make any sense because I'm waiting here to get more shares. So that was a good out, and it was sometimes lucky. And all we did was we just sat right here. We've seen these bottom wicks, so we said, hey, you know what? We'll plant an order right there, and we got it. So Affirm saved the day on that trade right now. When still $1 in the money, I'm holding it because I think it breaks here. That's it. It's very, very simple. I think it breaks this side. If it breaks here, we'll get out. It's going to break one way or the other. So Affirm right now, let's hopefully this can go to $1 plus now in the money and still going higher. I want to get some money into Affirm as well. AMC, let's go. Oh my God. Okay, good. I got it. Oh my God. Almost had another heart attack there. Another one. I never had one in the beginning. But 40, 30. No, thank God I haven't. Although there might be a clause in my insurance if I survive a heart attack, maybe I get paid. Okay, right here. 40.13. We just took that out. I thought it was bouncing around and we didn't get it, but there it is. There's that mid play right there. So we're spinning that for AMC. And it's been a good one for us today. As you can see, ding, 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 all the way to the upside. We only have 10% left now of our AMC trade. What's up, Brad?
QuantumScape, guys. I think somebody mentioned this in the chat early on, but QS starting to go again. Day highs here, 3.25%. Just cleared that last high from yesterday for QS.
Apparently, John Rahm kicking butt there, Brendan, and letting the. I was surprised. America was like minus 180 or something on the Ryder Cup. I still think the European team is pretty nice. So John Rahm there puts them up one hole, just as an update for PGA fans watching the Ryder Cup.
And there's two trades that, oddly enough, like what will end up being, well, I shouldn't say that because Baidu could be pretty good here, but Marin was solid. Obviously, I got out of Moderna short too early, but Marin, I might have got out of that long too early as well. This is broke 10, now heading up to 1050. Now keep in mind, 2 days ago, the levels we worked off for this breakout stalled out hard at 11 even. So as much as I was bearish on the break in Marin here today, there's no way I'm not looking short in front of 11. It's just I can't not do it here. And I know it broke a couple of times, got to 11.25. I'd probably give it to that. But if this thing sniffs close to that 11 even, I might just be standing in front of it here. So I'm going to get in order because I don't want to miss it. If this pops up, I want to be shorting Marin off of this 11 even area. So went even further than I anticipated. Strong mover here in Marin. We're back to 70 on naked brands. I wouldn't reload anything unless it's between 73 and 74. Like, I'd actually let that come all the way back up to that 75 level. But wow, I'm a little bit shocked how strong Marin was. I was noting Deshaun, QuantumScape, and Sava, two very high volatile names, kind of making the same types of moves, like finding bottoms, then rally.
Okay, we'll continue with the show, but I know that it's there's absolutely nothing happening. Okay, there it goes. Now we're fine. We're back, guys. Thank you so much for all the patience there. We were working hard. You may have missed Brendan's little update there, but as per usual, he kicked butt. So maybe we could do that again. We are back now. We could do that again, or we're probably good. Actually, we have an interview coming up soon anyway, so we'll scrap that. But thank you so much, guys, for telling us that. And it's a work.
Like I said, we're live, man.
It's a work in progress.
We're live.
People say that, hey, we don't pay for the best internet, but I can tell you, we do. I mean, if we didn't have, some of the best connections here, which it doesn't seem like.
Try to imagine what would happen if the connection breaks when you're trading.
Yeah. So I mean, I hold out for faith on that one, and sorry about that. Sometimes YouTube can do this, I'm assuming, but we have a great team here, so thank you so much for everyone's patience on that. Okay, so we did pay for that super chat on DATS there. Thank you so much for that again. And look, it's doing what we thought it would do here. It's starting to take out VWAP and starting to make a move to the upside. Hopefully the volume can pick up here. We just need a volume spike. Like, people need to get excited about data chat, and then it can go. So I'm still thinking that we have, here we go, let's go. Hopefully we can get this. It does break through VWAP. It's trying to break out through 50 now. We're long down here. We're making back what we lost. We took that 11 break and got out there. That's a 40-cent hit, or 48 cents or so on that move. We double bought it down here. So we bought it one time, took the hit, double bought it down here, took out for VWAP there for 25 cents, and now we'll wait for the upside. So we're about flat on this trade considering that. So let's go. Here we go. Now we're starting to pick it up here. Let's get that chat up through $11. I like this one. I'm not doing anything with this position. I'm going to hold this. I'm not getting it out even here at 11. Let's see if we have another afternoon break like I think we can have on dat chat, and then that will be pretty positive for me if it can go. So good call here. Thank you for the super chat. Let's just see if it works out. Could fade this whole move and just get out now, but I'm going to hold out for that hero trade on dat chat.
There goes DATS. We've got to see that moving. As that goes up, I mean, actually, just noting Marin finding a bit of a turn as well. So momentum going from one runner to another, possibly, who knows? Zevo finally breaks 6 even. I'm not even on the bid. I want this thing flushing into 5, and then I'll make a judgment call. I'm at the point now that you've broken that 6 level, I want to be shorting some pops here. So once that wall was gone, I can start thinking about shorting pops. If it goes anywhere to view up like 640, 650, in front of like a 675, I'll be reloading the stock all the way in. Like I said, Marin showing some signs of maybe pulling back in here. I know I said 11, that's where I wanted to sit. But if it wants to make a turn, here at 1050, I don't need to sit in front of it. I wanted a parabolic move into 11. It's not likely to do that if it consolidates and then breaks. So I still like to short up at that price, but I will not just sort of sit there in front of that price level, guys. So I'm just going to hang on to the winner in Baidu. Zevo and Naked Brands to the short side. There were some longs that never came in this morning. I wanted to buy US Steel potentially on a dip. That never really happened. And AHR, and it's interesting because the way that I described this one was like, and I hate the term like real company, this wasn't a normal gapper. And I don't know why I didn't think about going for some breakouts to the long side or even some buying dips. They report earnings. It's an incredibly strong chart. And unlike other names where you'd see it sort of going only to the downside in the daily and consolidating, this has been consolidating, break, consolidate higher, break, consolidate higher, break. Like, this is a strong looking chart on a company that's, you know, that they're more in the, not directly making semiconductors, more of testing them when they come out. But what a strong stock. It never really gave me a dip into 1250, which I would have liked. But I've got to find a way to get into the long, because this is jailbreaking to the upside. And it's doing so without me. That's for sure. At least for now, it's running into resistance at 1640, which could give it a dip. But look at what happened when it dipped into 1480 to 15 even. I think if it does it again, it can put in a higher low around VWAP here at 1520. So let's see what happens with AEHR. I don't know that I'd short this thing unless it goes parabolic up again or halts or something along those lines.
This is something that the trading gods do to you, right? So I was bigging up how happy I was to get that fill, which is fantastic. But they say, okay, you know, that's nice. You're happy about that. Now we're a lot higher. I mean, we're not a lot higher, but there it goes. We did get that miracle fill there. Couldn't believe we got it. And now you're going right back to the upside there. So we'll see where a firm goes from here. Just FYI on this one, thank you a little bit anyways. We won't do that much, but we'll do a little bit of a wink here. This is kind of an interesting one. We haven't done this in a while.
Yours is,
yeah. There it is, a little bit of a wink there. As we did short, finally, Micron comes all the way back to that 74.50 risk management time, man. We just took a little bit out right there. So we'll hold the rest for the downside now. I'm not going to take this break of 74.20 because we got that number. So, if it does now break back down, we'll just try to hold this, see what happens around the 74 consolidation area, and then hopefully back to the downside. AMC still ripping. That's still $1 plus in there. 50 cents in the money as it holds the dollar at 40. Dat Chat. Nice move up to 1069. We're still on that one. We'll hold the Micron. And then Win tries to take out that 85 and stops again. So I think an offer at 85 makes a lot of sense here on Win. But without any further ado, thank you for all your patience today. We're getting ready to throw it, or we will throw to Brendan right now for our guest of the day.
All right, thanks, guys. Doug Drysdale, as promised, the CEO of Cybin Incorporated, back with us once again on the show to give us an update on the company and its work in the medical psychedelic field. I want to start, Doug. Good to see you, by the way. Thanks for doing this once again. I want to start with a little look at the move to the NYSE American Exchange in the U.S. So CYBN, guys, the ticker on the, again, NYSE American Exchange. Tell us about the uplisting going back to August here. It was just back in August when this happened. What does that mean for the company?
Yeah, hi, Brendan. Good to see you again. Yes, you're right. So Cybin is the first psychedelics company to be listed on the NYSE American under the symbol CYBN. And we've seen tremendous uplift in volume and liquidity as we move to that exchange. I think really opening up the stock to retail investors.
So when we look at what this means overall on a scale of more institutional attention, more institutional money obviously coming in, and exposure for this work that the company continues to do, how do we see that benefiting going forward into not only the remainder of this year, but maybe into next year?
Yeah, I think this extra liquidity obviously provides us greater access to retail and to institutional investors to fund our drug development programs. And we have 3 lead programs that are designed to deliver faster onset, shorter acting treatments that could be more easily adopted by depression clinics and addiction clinics.
We got positive preclinical data on or from some of those trials in the second half of this year. Before we get into the treatment itself and what that means for the company, let's talk a little bit about how this treatment, for somebody who's maybe not familiar with the psychedelic drug treatment, talk about the process here and how it may be compared to going to a traditional doctor and getting something along the lines of, a prescription, as most people have done before.
Yeah, these treatments are a little different in that they're given under supervision in a clinic, and they're integrated with psychotherapy. So Cybin has developed its own proprietary psychotherapy program called Embark. Patients receive therapy before, during, and after their treatment. And it's really the combination of the psychedelic molecule and the psychotherapy that delivers these impressive results that we've seen in many academic studies now.
So when it comes to the preclinical data, as we said, give us an update, I guess, on where this trial is to date and where we see maybe things progressing as we move forward here.
Yeah, so we recently received approval to run a phase 2 study on our lead program, which is a sublingual film formulation of psilocybin. And we expect data to come from that study around the end of this year. And that'll show us whether we're able to really deliver that fast onset and shorter duration that we're targeting.
So there's a new partnership that we can happily talk about as well. Give us an update on the addition of, and I want to get this right, 129 additional depression clinics in the U.S. Tell us about that.
Yeah, infrastructure is important as we start to run these clinical studies. With all of that psychotherapy and all of that supervision, you need clinics and therapists, to support those. So Cybin has partnered with Greenbrook TMS. They have, as you say, 129 depression clinics across the United States. And that partnership allows Cybin access to infrastructure to support clinical trials with multiple psychedelic drugs over the next several years.
Cybin.com, guys, cybin.com if you want more information. Again, listed here in Toronto as well as on the NYSE American Exchange in the US under the ticker CYBN. Doug Drysdale, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Brendan. Take care.
There we go, guys. Cybin Incorporated. Again, CYBN, the ticker.
Yes, another one there. And again, like dual listed, so you can trade in either. Obviously, we're in Canada, so
always nice to have guests come back on and
see how they've been.
Yeah, exactly, and give a little bit of an update there. So we want to thank Cybin for doing exactly that. And good chart, good levels. We'll see where it goes from here. Good call there. Thanks, Brendan.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we got about 10 minutes to go here, and I just want to make sure update a few things. It's weird. The only mention of Tesla all day long was when I said Miss V was likely busy trading Tesla. Whoops,
Yep,
she
definitely was likely doing that.
Well, who knows? Because every single day in Memes and Movers, which you guys are about to go to in about 8 or 9 minutes or so, we find out that Miss V is short Tesla pre-market. And it's been almost every single day that's been true. I hope it's not true today because, as you can see, Tesla is continuing this nice break. Finally, look, it's not quite there yet, right? Because someone was saying it's breaking the level on the daily, and they messaged me in the chat there saying that. Not quite. I mean, we're close. So that's probably what you're alluding to. That's 765. So we're getting up to that price. I think it's going to be a good one if it can get there. The market is pretty strong, but it's a Friday, right? Like I wouldn't be shocked if it still gives you one solid pullback off this level here and maybe comes back down into like 58 to 60. So Tesla, it's close. It's not quite there. There it is, testing it and giving you that little bit of a pullback as we speak. It's parabolic into it, like a $20 move. I love it. I'm happy for Tesla. Everyone that owns is happy for this move. But it doesn't mean it's going to break it here with the market. Still, once again, the ES bouncing shy of turning positive on the session. NASDAQ has been solidly negative all session long, even though it's trying to get off that hump. It wouldn't shock me if Tesla doesn't quite get there, but that break is coming. I feel like that break is certainly coming.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she went long. We'll see. Join us on Memes and Movers in just 8 minutes, and Ms. V will go over, I'm sure, her Tesla trades there. So, I mean, I'm super happy to be ending the show here on a positive note. Like, my account's positive. It was a little bit of a hard beginning there today when we really took a big one there on Micron and then had to get out right there, but we were able to reshort it and hold on to some of the trade anyways. We only got it at 2/3 right there, which was thank God, and then we almost got pumped out of it at 50 there, so that was very, very lucky for us today. We've had some big saves, including probably the biggest right now, and that was we slay the dragon, that is AMC, and we got that nice tick right there. We're only holding 10% now. So AMC, man, turns my day around big time there as we're going to end the show positive. It wasn't looking like that. I've been, really on another great run of net positive days. So happy to do that here, and we'll be even up. Hopefully be up more money here as we come back at 3 o'clock. So join us then when that kicks through. Okay, on that note, when DATS stops there at 1070. I'm still going to hold that. That could have been another winner to top it out. I got to give congratulations to DATS as well. That helped me make a little bit of money back because we did lose that 40 or 50 cents earlier on. Not that much. The stock that we didn't trade at all. Unless did you have Nike early? I don't remember.
I never got
Yeah,
Nike.
None of us got into Nike. This is getting down near. Now we only have a few more minutes left. We're going to go over some earnings. I'm not sure if there are any on a Friday. Monday is never really a big earnings day, but there could be. We'll wait to see. But Nike right now, I'm talking about this because it's getting into an area right now where if you can buy high quality companies, at this kind of a discount, it may be worth it. We go all the way back here to these levels, 145, 140, you know, I mean, wherever you want to do it, between 140 and 145, it's not going to matter if you're playing this for the long term. But Nike is right back into this area. I've always liked Lulu a little bit better than Nike. Oh, congratulations to Canada right now, because Canada just linked a nice deal up with Lululemon now supporting the Olympic gear. For Canadian, I believe their whole Canadian squad. So both men and women now sponsored by Lululemon. This is the daily chart now, and I don't think that's going to drive revenues or anything.
Probably.
Don't. I don't mean to say that. It's just came to my mind there. As you can see, the Lululemon chart a hell of a lot healthier right now than the Nike chart. So pick your poison on these ones. Lulu won't suffer the same fate as Nike because their exposure to China is a lot less.
That's the thing. And there's another name that we kind of, and not ignoring it, it's just CEI. Wow. I mean, we've talked about it a couple of times. I have no trades on it, but look at this, as it shoots up once again, and an impressive looking chart. This is one that I tried, when it started making that turnaround, like I shorted it, or was trying shorts when it was trying to make that turnaround. But when it starts to go parabolic and breaks back out, then I go hands off, because until it gets to 230, 240, I don't think it's much standing in the way. So you're not going to see me stand in the way of it until it goes another 10% to the upside. Another impressive run for CEI. We talked about naked brands, and I said in the chat here, I still have a good third of the position. Is whoops, that's still Camber. So anyways, naked brands. There we go. Yeah, I still am holding on to a third. I never got that fill in front of 68, but it's still sliding to the downside. I'll give it some time. Like, I could be in this one all afternoon, but you know, it was a good entry point there. Went to the higher time frame to pick out that short. I probably could have had a better price if I spotted it early, but one of the reasons why this is the best community out there is because nobody can see and trade everything. Brendan can monitor everything. A regular human being probably can't. So we miss things. You guys let us know. We bring our watch list to you guys so you don't miss anything or miss much. And then you find those opportunities from getting a look at a symbol first. Like, you're not going to have a trading opportunity if you don't look at the stock. Like, you got to pull up that chart. You got to read that news. That's what it's all about here, getting that education. And I wouldn't have seen naked brands unless you guys were talking about it. And then it was a pretty good setup. So thank you guys for all of that. In about 3.5 minutes, we're going to memes and movers. The other thing is, I don't want to jinx it here, but Sean and I have been in the survivor pool for, I want to say 15, 20 years?
Probably.
We've never actually won. We don't ever do that well.
Let's explain how many people are in it first.
There's a good over 3,000 people. I think usually there's more like 4,000 or 5,000.
I think usually there's more.
And we don't usually do very well. But 3 weeks in,
I can't believe you're
we have
saying this
all
right
10
now.
of our entries.
I can't believe you're doing this.
And 31% of the pool is out. And we just got put 3 of our entries on Carolina that worked out well. So I'm feeling pretty good going into the weekend. But here's why I'm saying it. Because we didn't pick the Bills. So I'm in an awkward position of wanting the Bills to lose for the survivor pool this weekend.
Oh yeah, because they're we thought the big one was Cleveland.
Cleveland. So it's like, I want Cleveland and the Bills to lose only for survivor. I never want the Bills to lose. Let's get that out of the way. They're going to the Super Bowl when it happens. I want to be there. Sorry, wife. I just want to go. I know it's expensive.
Sorry, wife. Just bring her with you. What do you mean?
You think she does not want to go watch the Bills?
My wife would. Why not?
I know Marissa's in the full. I know. It's just like I said, we're Jays fans. She was the one that actually wanted the season tickets to the Jays, not me.
Look at CEI.
But I'm not going to get it happening. Not going to get that happening for the Bills. But CEI is strong. We haven't talked about SoFi.
Do you remember what's SoFi doing? Is that strong as well? I mean, we look.
Sean King.
What up, Sean King?
Right there. What up, Sean King? SoFi. We didn't even look at that.
What up, Sean
What the
King?
heck?
Member for 1 month. Member for 14 months. Okay, Sean King, you can get a SoFi look right there. But I was hoping that my trades. Oh yeah, here we are. Remember yesterday afternoon when I said we're going to be buying CEI? Yeah, that was at 180. It's at 220 right now. CEI breaking out. Great trade on CEI. Man. Darn it, like we are on a prop firm floor here. Love day trade the world, but we cannot kneel, as you know, hold overnight. CEI, a great one right there. Damn it, maybe we need to change policies around here. That will never happen. Wow, SoFi, a nice bump up as well. This is not a name that I've averaged in at on, but I am long SoFi, right around 1850-ish, I believe, on SoFi. So I've been holding the bag on this, but nice to see it retrace back to the upside. That's SoFi still making money moves here.
making them money moves. It's
Oh, I
always
see you, Dustin. Look, the thing about the Packers right now is they don't have no defense.
Oh, now he super chats it?
Yeah, now he super chats it. That's fine. I see it there, and I'm down with that. I don't know what the spread is right there, but he's calling 9 points, kind of random score right there. But we'll see what happens. It's a primetime game on Sunday night, so everyone enjoy the football. And you know what? I think the Niners, the Rams, Tampa Bay, and Green Bay. So I think those are the 4 teams to look out for.
You have a great corner over there.
In the NFC, yeah, we do. I think we have, our defense is taking a couple of hits. There's a Darius Smith also. We'll see if he can make it back or not. We are ready, I think.
Holy crap, Marin.
I think for Valeria?
What the?
Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
What up, V?
Hey guys, I hope you're having a great start of Friday and have a lot of great trading opportunities. Thank you for 1.8k likes, and please double check if you like this video and if you are a subscriber. And of course, thank you very much for all the super chats. Welcome all the new members, and thank you for your support. Me and Prad, super excited to start Memes and Movers show. Join us right after this show, and I also will send you the link on the chat. And happy National Cherries Jubilee Day.
All right, Cherries Jubilee Day. Okay.
I remember some of these, like when we have them like year after year, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that from last year.
I don't know if I'm allowed. Like, I don't know if you could be Italian and not really like cherries, but cherries aren't my favorite. So.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of wines and everything that are very, very cherry based. We try to stay away from that. I like more earth tones, things like that in my wine. How did this move over to wine? Cherries Jubilee.
There.
For me, it would be, look, I love fresh cherries, picking them off a tree for sure. But the sugar and everything, not the biggest fan of Cherries Jubilee. I'll go to Brendan and then we'll get back to your opinion. What do you think, Brendo?
He'll be yes.
I apologize, guys. I was reading a news story and I completely missed that.
Cherries Jubilee. Like
You're
cherries,
always
ice cream.
I have
dessert.
no idea what that is. What is a cherry jubilee?
We can show the picture
bring it
again
up?
if we have
Bring it
it. I believe it's dessert with ice cream.
It doesn't matter. I'll say yes. Why not?
That's what I'm talking
Wouldn't
about.
we know if he knows what it is? But
So now Sean's not with it. Brendan's actually with me. I like it. Why not? Enjoy yourself. You got to treat yourself every now and then. Marin is going absolutely bat. You know what? Crazy. I'm shorted off this high because of course that's what I'm going to do.
shorted Marin,
But
no.
You guys are probably going to be looking at a little bit of Marin because it's moving. And speaking of
we have a show for that, I
movers,
think. I don't know what it's called,
what's
but
it called again? Oh, that's right. Memes and Movers.
Midday Memes and Movers.
Memes and Movers with Trader Prad and Miss V. Let's fire you right over there. Bye, guys.
That was a clean segue there. Oscar-worthy performance by Neil and Sean with the segue there. Welcome to Memes and Movers. I'm your host, Trader Prad. This is your beautiful co-host, Miss V.
Hey guys, happy Friday to you all. Thank you very much for joining us today. As usual, please be active on the chat. Ask us anything.